this gimbal. As always, technical difficulties. I can't say the words, we've got no chance. Okay. Oh dear. Welcome to Russia. Hang on. Hi everybody. Welcome to Russia. Private joke. But yeah, welcome to Russia. Another glorious day. It's just kind of a bit boring really, me talking about the weather, because this is what it's like all the time. Although apparently we're going to get some rain soon, which we need, to be honest. It's been very dry here this year. Been a very dry summer. Nice and great for us, swimming, jumping in the pool every day. In fact, I was in the pool last night at 10:30 at night. It was lovely. It's like getting in the hot tub. And I used the sauna last night for the first time. So, yeah. But it is kind of boring, me talking about the weather here in this part of Russia, because it's just lovely all the time. Right, I know what I need to do. Hi, sailor. I'll be with you in a sec. Hi, sailor. I was just watching your other live and I got a notification about this one. Oh. You're in a bit of a dilemma then, aren't you? Do you watch this load of rubbish, or do you watch the last load of rubbish? I'm going to do a bit of political stuff today. I'm going to talk about a few things. Should we start with a coalition of the willing? Oh dear. Every time I hear that, I just think it sounds the most stupid and childish thing. The coalition of the willing. How is that supposed to sound strong or scary? Russia must understand the coalition of the willing. What the fuck? How about united aggressive force, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying. But the coalition of the willing, yeah. Burn, hi. Def not capo. Privyat Kakdila. I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. How are you? So this is Russia, yeah. This is definitely Russia. It's where we live. Anyhow, the coalition of the willing. So, what is the coalition of the willing? I'm sure you all hear about it. Most people know, don't they? Hear about it a lot in Western politics. What is the coalition of the willing? It's half a dozen people trying to stir up trouble. Because it isn't the people of these nations. It's not like the British public has had a vote on that, whether they want to be part of the coalition of the willing. Try and shield you from a bit of the wind. It's a bit windy today. Or the French people, or anybody else. It's just these figureheads and these unelected bureaucrats in Europe running around telling everybody about the coalition of the willing. So it's half a dozen people, basically. All of which are devoid of reality. And basically it's just one big grift. They just need another meeting. They need to have a meeting about the previous meeting, and then they need to discuss the scheduling of the future meetings. And the way they do that isn't by email or Zoom. The way they do that is to trot off to somewhere for a few days and have a conference, which is just a giant excuse for a piss up. Now, I come from that corporate world, so I know exactly what all of this bullshit is because we used to do it all the time. One of my old bosses was famous for it. It's actually, common knowledge, to be honest. Everybody knew that, he milked the system. And even I went on a fully paid trip to Canada for a week. I was very fortunate. My business, wasn't mine, but business that I ran, was very, very successful. One particular year, most successful in the country, and that afforded me a lovely trip to Canada, all expenses paid. And the people there that were the chaperones, which were, high up people for the particular company that I worked for, I won't mention it at the moment, all of them were there just for a free ride. They were all talking about just getting hammered every day, spending the company's money, it's just one big jolly. And that filters down through the corporate world. And that's pretty much the norm. So the coalition of the willing is just no different. It's just an excuse to go and have a good time. So rather than sit at home and watch TV, these people get jetted off here, there and everywhere, all expenses paid, and they all gather together and they talk for half an hour in front of the cameras, and that's job done. And that was the same with us in the corporate world. It would be disguised as a quarterly review or H1 progress report or H2 projections report or end of year breakdown or next year's planning. All of these corporate things would come out. And the first time I went to one, I went prepared. I went with a load of notes, about how the business was performing, what I had in progress at the time, what my challenges were, what was going to happen next year, all of this stuff. I had all of these notes prepared. And we went initially to Brighton for a breakfast and sat there and had a nice breakfast in a nice hotel. It's about 6-7 of us. And we did about 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, of discussing stuff. When it came to me, I got my notes out, and it was literally, just give us a 30-second potted history. Not really interested, let's just run through the process. The department's doing really well, we're top of the league, we're the best in the country at the moment, trip to Canada is coming up, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, right, okay, that's that nonsense done, that gives us the excuse. Right, let's get on it. And then we got on a train, went to London, and the whole day was about eating in nice restaurants and pub crawling until we probably couldn't pub crawl anymore about 11:30 at night. And the whole thing was paid for, and it was just one big jolly. It was a nice meeting title, but if you took a snapshot of that while we were having breakfast, it would have looked like we were having a very professional meeting and it was very important. It wasn't, it was a load of bollocks. It was just an excuse to spend the company's money. And that's what the coalition of the willing is. It's just another excuse to spend taxpayers' money, basically, and then mask it by saying it's a very important meeting about the previous meeting. And the reason I say this is because what they're actually discussing is just fantasy. It's just nonsense. Macron's latest statement is the coalition of the willing is, I think, 26 countries that are willing to send troops to the neighbouring country of us. I'm in Russia at the moment, so the neighbouring country, let's call it that. That's his latest statement. And the reality of that is it's just all smoke and mirrors. It sounds dramatic. It sounds like a unified stance, and we're going to take a stand against Russia and all of this kind of fucking shit. The reality is it's always in the detail that masks it, and the detail on that is 26 countries willing to send troops, blah, blah, big dramatic, and then the small print says, when a ceasefire agreement is signed. So, you might as well say Rolls Royces for sale, £5 each, and then in small print, when in stock. It's the same bullshit, because Trump has already said there ain't going to be a ceasefire. He's actually worked that one out. Putin has said it, you know, I don't know how long, since June last year probably. No ceasefire, because, you know, Russia's quite clued up about what the ceasefire entails, which is just rearmament and resupply and blah, 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 you know, what benefit of it. But the Western government elites seem hell-bent on trying to tell the winning side what the conditions are that they should meet, which is always funny, isn't it? But that's what they're hell-bent on doing. So, yeah, so the coalition of the willing is just a load of smoke and mirrors. It's a load of nonsense. It's a load of pub talk, really, to justify more expenditure. Right, let's move on. Coalition of the willing. So, Trump. So Trump has said to the Europeans, you're funding the Russian military complex because you're buying gas and oil. I was wondering how long it would be. Obviously, they've been working, I don't know if you've noticed, probably not, probably have, I don't know. But they've been working, i.e. the US, has been working for a number of years now to try and control the energy sector. Many years, in fact. That's the goal. And, you know, obviously you've got the underwater pipeline that went boom. And it was apparently some bloke in a rowing boat that identifies as Ukrainian. And just, you know, I guess used dowsing rods or something to find it. I don't know. Anyhow, you know all of that nonsense. Everybody knows that nonsense. But it's all about oil. It's always about oil. It's about oil and gas, isn't it? So once that got done, the US started making a lot more money because they upped their sales to Europe. Europe then headed down the path of being completely dependent on the US. I mean, Norway produces, obviously, but not enough for Europe. But all the time still buying from Russia. And Trump has now said, Europe, you must stop using Russian oil and gas. Well, all that's going to do is anybody in Britain is now going to basically get another slap with energy prices, and that will continue to go on. More costs. And who gets the money? US, of course. So, I mean, another genius plan, isn't it? Make your game the only game in town, and you can charge what you like, and you don't have to worry about whether you've got enough to supply everybody. It's not your problem. And if the supply and demand ratio is a bit out of kilter, put prices up. You can do that when you're the only game in town. So that's the US plan, and it's working. So everybody in Europe, brace yourselves over the next 18 months, because your costs are going up again. Now, that said, the next government that comes into power in the UK will be cutting taxes. And the reason I say that is they're already at a ridiculous level, taxation in the UK. And all governments are, you know, fully aware of visible tax. If you start taxing people in the wage packet, it's too obvious and it's too easy to see, because everybody gets their wage packet at the end of the month and they look at what they pay out in tax. And if that bill goes up, then they notice it. So what they do is they get it as far as they can, and then they tax it in other ways, stealth taxes. Things like your shopping bill, you know, may not necessarily increase, but you will go to the shops more often because the quantities go down. And this is all because companies have to make profits and yada yada, blah blah blah, but this is all kind of stealth taxation. But government makes policy that is against stealth taxation, and that's what the Heimat clause is. Dear, oh dear. Worms. It's too early in the morning. Can't get my worms out. Climate change. Let's call it that. The climate change hoax. Let's call it that. That's what it is. It's all a load of lies. It's a load of nonsense. I first started witnessing that, dear, how many years ago now? More than I care to remember. 20 years ago maybe, 25 years ago. No, longer than that. What am I on about? Blimey, 35, 40 years ago maybe. Ooh, longer than I care to remember. In the automotive industry, when they first pulled the lead out of paint, bad for the environment, so we've got to pull the lead out. Well, anybody in the automotive industry at that time will tell you that at that point, paint went to shit, basically. Its durability, its coverage, you know, where you use 1 or 2 coats to cover a panel, you up to 6 and 7, because it was just like water, you know, it was piss. Brings me on to water-based. They moved on. They went to water-based paint. Again, all about the environment, all about the environment. It's not. It's all about chemicals, changing the types of chemicals. It's all about creating a new taxation class. And I'll give you an example. When they make the paint less durable, which they have, this is a fact, it gets damaged a lot easier. You ask anybody in Britain who's bought a new car and it's 12 months old about the stone chips on the front of their car. It will be battered, probably need repainting. It's a regular thing, it's a common thing. People complain about it. People used to complain to my department about a brand new car having a load of stone chips and, oh, it's, you know, it's really brittle, the paint is really soft and this, that and the other. And you just go, well, no, it's, you know, it's the factory paint, that's how it is and all the rest of it. No, it ain't. I've got a Chinese car in the garage. It's done 15,000 kilometres on roads, I would say, are far more covered in dust, dirt, stones and debris than anything in the UK. And I think there might be 1 stone chip on the front end in 15,000 kilometres. Not 500, 1. Oh, cat fight, meow, stop it. So the reality is the paint on European cars is much, much softer. So how's that taxation? How's that stealth tax? Well, it affects the resale value of the car if you don't attend to it. If you just leave it and it's covered in stone chips, the first thing somebody does when they come to buy the car is to moan about it, puts the price down. So you have to have it refinished, which means you go into the world of taxation again, paying for services that you shouldn't really have to have. And, you know, more chemicals produced, you know, all of this sort of thing. So this nonsense about the environment, it's got nothing to do with the environment. It has had no impact on the environment or climate change whatsoever. It's just shifted the focus, and, you know, it's made to look like this is what we're doing, we're protecting the environment, and these are all the, and it's tough, we know, but we've got to do this to save the environment. Meanwhile, the alternatives are just as bad, if not worse, than what they're already using. So what it is it's a stealth tax. It's a way of hiding the fact that you are now paying out more money. So anybody with a new car will tell you that it costs them more money to maintain. The cars depreciate more because obviously the paint chips and all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, ultimately those chemicals have to be produced somewhere. Germany being, I think at the time, one of the largest producers of petrochemical automotive paint, BASF. Don't know how that's faring now at the moment. But it's the same with the EV stuff. It's all smoke and mirrors. Everybody really, I think, is wise to that now. They understand that, you know, going and buying a Tesla isn't good for the environment. You'd be far better off just running your existing car and paying to repair it rather than, you know, shelling out 80 grand or whatever a Tesla is. Plus the cost to produce it, plus recycling of it, plus its secondary value, blah, blah, blah. It's just more tax upon tax. It's all about creating taxation. So, yeah, anyhow, that's my little taxation rant. I'm just sick to death of all of this nonsense. EVs and environmental rubbish, because it is just bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. Let me have a look. So, who's going to be the next Prime Minister of the UK? Farage. How do we feel about that? Well, it's not that he's the best candidate, it's just that he's the lesser of the three evils. I mean, the Conservatives are just, it's a non-start, isn't it? It's a non-entity. As we say in the UK, they couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. So, what's her name? Kemi Bandanock or so? Oh, I don't know. Just, you know, you might as well put Kaya Callas in the position. Probably got the same brain cell. They probably share the same brain cell, to be fair. So that's, you know, just a complete non-starter. Labour, well, yeah, Starmer spends all his time abroad, both physically and spiritually. That's all he cares about, is foreign policy, namely Ukraine. That's it. There's nothing. There's no plans to put Britain right. There's just a lot of talk. Meanwhile, just carry on sending the money. Let's keep shipping that money out. Let's get it rotating. Let's get the grift. You know, let's keep the washing machine going. So, yeah, the people are fed up, of course, and they're uniting behind Farage. But once again, this is going to be another case of not the best candidate for the job, but the least worst. Now, if that's the state of politics, then we're all in trouble, really, aren't we? But Starmer is, you know, I mean, how he's hung on to power so long really is quite remarkable. And it's obviously down to the massive, what's the word? I'm trying to think in Russian, believe it or not. Popularity? No, it's not the right word. Massive majority, there we go, that they hold, which makes it sound like a very cool government, and that's what they play on. It's, you know, they've got the biggest majority. But the way our voting system works in the UK, that's going to happen. They're going to have that. It just doesn't, it's not representative of the reality. So whilst they have the biggest majority, they're also the weakest government and the most unpopular government that Britain has ever had, I would say. And it's collapsing, and it's been collapsing for a long time. It's scandal after scandal after scandal, isn't it, that somehow he survives. But again, it's this massive majority. It's not the will of the people. I think the 13th of September, there's probably going to be a few people having something to say in Britain. Seems to be a lot more going on with the raising the flag, but that's another story that I won't get into. But just don't be suckered by that. Keep an eye on that. It's not all as it seems. So, yeah, we've got... What's it, Rayner resigned yesterday, Housing Secretary, another scandal. Reeves will be next, Rachel Reeves, she'll be gone. Whether she's pushed or whether she jumps, it's only a matter of time, and it's going to be within the next 2 weeks, I would say, she'll be gone. And then it's going to be very difficult for that government to remain in power, especially with what's going on. Everybody's uniting behind reform, and... yeah, that's where it will go, won't it? So then you'll have a political party in charge of the UK that have never been in charge of anything, with a Prime Minister that never wants to be Prime Minister, doesn't want it, that's very good when he's on the sidelines shouting bullet points, but the minute the spotlight's on him, he's going to be another Trump. So... again, when he's not in power, rah, 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 talk tough, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. As soon as he's got the power, and it's like, right, it's your train set now, play with it, he'll be like, The difference is, with Trump, at least, he has a pool of resources to pick from that have got an idea about Washington and what goes on. Farage hasn't. He's got a pool of resources that they're all running around looking at each other like headless chicken going, oh, don't know what to do, don't know what to do. So apparently he's going to pick people from the House of Lords. So you're going to end up with a government that doesn't know how to run a country, and you're going to end up with a Prime Minister that doesn't want to be a Prime Minister. So what you're going to end up with is Farage heavily in bed with Trump, because he's going to look to Trump as some kind of mentor. And, you know, I mean, I think Farage already thinks that Trump's wonderful anyway. So that's just going to massively increase the minute Farage comes to power, because he's not going to know what to do. One of his first things will be to run off to the US. That'll be one of his first things. I'm going off to meet the US president and, you know, puff my chest out. But really, it'll be about, oh shit, what do I do now? I've got the gig, didn't think I was going to get it, but now I've got it. What shall I do? And then he'll just repeat and copy the Trump playbook, you know, talk a lot of rubbish in all different directions. As we say, throw the shit against the wall and see what sticks. And it'll be, yeah, more of the same. Lots and lots of talk. See what gets the most popular opinions. See what decision or what choice is most popular and run with it. Regardless of whether it's any good, they won't know whether it's any good or not. It'll just be talking points. So, in Britain, you've got, well, we've got a few years ahead that are going to be bleak, I'm going to say. Your taxes, you know, I think the next government will reduce your taxes, which will look great on your pay packet, but your stealth taxes will go up. All of this other stuff, they'll go up. And you'll have, like I say, a government and a Prime Minister that aren't fit to govern. So it's just going to become more and more like the 51st state. Which, yeah, Christ, what do you do with that? Right, what else? Right, arms deals. And did you know Ukraine, when the Soviet Union split up, Ukraine was the largest arms dealer in the world. So basically, as the USSR broke up, all of these corrupt individuals and unpleasant types, we've all seen plenty of films about arms dealers, haven't we? God of War and all of this, Lord of War or whatever. They all sprung up in Ukraine. Corruption rife. Lots and lots of arms, lots and lots of weapons, lots and lots of willing terrorists to buy them. So, yeah, largest arms dealer. And then, of course, you know, you've got to be respectful, haven't you? You've got to start looking a bit respectable. So the image changes a little bit, and then we get the current situation. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because all of those contacts that they created all of those years ago when the USSR broke up, they're all still there. So, what do you think's happening now? All of these weapons getting pumped into Ukraine. Do you think they're getting used? They're definitely getting used. Just maybe not where you think they are. No, it's just one big carry on of what was previously happening in that country. Weapons being sold on the black market. It's not so black now. It's a bit more in plain sight. But yeah, that's what it's become. And with a ready supply of free stuff, any business, let's call it a business, any business is going to boom, isn't it? The head of the business is going to get rich. The corporate machine is going to churn on. Everybody's going to make a load of money. I mean, can you imagine having a business where you're selling stuff, whatever it is, let's call it flowers. You're a florist, you sell flowers. And now imagine that not only do you get free flowers, but you get a massive range of free flowers, the latest pretty free flowers, and they're delivered to your door, cost free, completely free. They just turn up in trucks, constant stream of trucks. I mean, it's the ultimate business model, isn't it? I don't think you could get a better one than that. Better go over this way. Can't show you that. Yeah, it's the ultimate business model. Start a business and yeah, get all the stuff for free. Get out, cat. You don't live here. Probably end up living here, won't it? We've got 5 cats, which is, I think, about 8 now. 5 official ones. And then 3 unofficial ones. But the unofficial ones keep trying to make themselves official by sneaking in the back door. And you have to keep catching them, like that little monkey there. Mankey the monkey. Call him Mankey because he's a bit... needs a bath. He's a soap dodger. got lovely nature, but he's definitely a soap dodger, poor thing. He's trying to make himself official. Anyhow, I digress. Right, let me say hello, because I'm, as usual, way behind in the chat, so... Oh, God. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry, guys. Kelly, hello. Hope your day's going well. It is. It is. It's an early start. Do you want to be staring at me? I don't know. Do you want to be staring? Nah, you've seen the swimming pool. Don't need to look at that, do you? Donald Rump. It's about right. Arse. Hey. Fish. What do I eat in Russia? Fish. God, yeah. Fresh fruit. Literally every day, just fresh. Not modified, not pre-packed, not. Just all from local farmers markets. So fresh fruit. You go through seasons here, obviously, with fruit. It's not coming out the freezer 6 months later. So, you know, strawberry season's over, peach season's over, cherry season's over. And we're at the moment, the tail end of melon season. We've gone through the apricots as well. So we're at the tail end of melon season now. So we've probably got melons for another week or two. And then that'll be that. And then we'll be slipping towards the winter months, which aren't months really. It's not that long winter. 300 days of sunshine we have here. So yeah, fresh veg, same reason. It's all grown around us. Meat, same thing. Got a few butcher shops. Have a look on my YouTube channel. There's a video from a Russian village butcher shop. My local butchers, lovely guys, really nice people, really are. So have a look at their video, or my video of their shop. It's better. But yeah, no, we eat. You know, there's nothing that I can't get. Everybody knows I'm a fan of Marmite, readily available. I can order it in, so I've got that. The only thing I haven't found so far is gravy granules. So I've had some shipped over, but that's it. Apart from that, I eat, you know, as I say, fresh fruit, fresh veg, fresh meat, fish. Yeah, different types of fish here. Sea bass is quite readily available. But yeah, different types of fish. But a lot of barbecue stuff as well. Yeah. Don't actually speak Russian. I'm learning it though. It's a pretty cool language. It's a very difficult language. Good luck with your learning. It's very difficult, especially if you're an English speaker. Spoke English all your life. Again, have a look at my Russian alphabet video on the YouTube channel. My take on the Russian alphabet from an Englishman's perspective. Quite funny. Ideal. Okay. Alexei. Привет, мой друг, I think. Привет. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Oh, there we go. Is that one of ours? No, that's one of the wannabes. That's not an official, that's an unofficial. That's Mankey. Hey, very nervous, aren't you? Mankey the cat. Makes a funny noise. Anyhow. The people are not willing to starve or freeze to death so the oligarchs can profit from war. Well, they are, unfortunately. Because, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They are willing. They won't openly admit that, but their silence is deafening. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take such hardship that people just go, nah, can't do this. But that's still going to be just internal conflicts, people fighting between each other. You know, the days of Guy Fawkes are gone, unfortunately. He had the right idea, just, yeah. Fantastic plan, just executed with Neolithic incompetence. What time in your place, sir? It is 20 past 8 in the morning. Alright, let's start as we mean to continue. Let's get rid of that. Sailor, what do you think about MG cars? Jesus, I never knew they existed before I rented one here in Sicily a couple of days ago. Traditionally, they've always been a bit shit, to be honest. You know, it's a British brand, but bought out by, I think, India, Tata, I think, an Indian company. So yeah, traditionally been a bit shit. They're just a bland box, aren't they? They're nothing. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I must go and buy an MG. It's just something that some people end up with because either A, they know nothing about cars and they've walked past one and it's a pretty colour and the wife likes it, or B, it's just purely on price, or C, combination of the two. But yeah, you know, they'll sell a few cars. Will they ever be popular again, like the heyday of the MG? No, never. All dying out, all of this crap, because it's just clone boxes now, isn't it? They're all much for muchness. It doesn't really matter what you buy. You know, all the Chinese cars the same. You've got lots and lots and lots of different manufacturers, but they're all churning out the same kind of thing, really. I've got to say, you know, if you want a car as a car, get you from A to B, move some people around in relative comfort with a few toys for a cheap price, you can't knock a Chinese car. We've got one. And I've got to say, it is a lot more than what I've just said. It's a fantastic thing. I absolutely love it. And I'm a car guy, you know, I spent 33 years in the automotive industry. So, you know, I like to think I know about cars, but our Haval H9 is just wonderful. You know, it's remarkable. If you're knocking Chinese cars, go and look at a Haval H9. It's got double glazing, heated seats, air-conditioned seats, radar-guided cruise control. It parks itself. It's got a fantastic off-road system. The four-wheel drive system is unbelievable. You've got front, rear and centre diffs that are all electronically lockable, all different modes. The camera system on it, 360 camera, is amazing. You can click it into off-road mode and you can look underneath the car so you can see what you're driving over. Yeah, I'll be doing a review on it. I've been saying that for months, but I will be doing a review on it because I should start talking about paint chips and the lack of them, and that'll tie into this live. So I will do a review on it. Plus Sam wants to see the car anyway. I was having a conversation with him yesterday. Sam from Sam's Russian Adventures. Check his channel out. Do you know Russian? Ish. Bits of. Message held for review, so it's probably a load of abuse. Guys, if I don't read your message out, it's because it's been held by YouTube. You're totally right about the corporate culture. That's what I see happening as well. Thanks for sharing your experience, Sailor. Thank you. You know, I've spent a lot of time in the corporate world and it's an eye-opener. When you're on the lower management level, you don't see it. Much like crypto. If you go into any bank and ask about crypto, good luck, because they'll all tell you, oh no, we don't get involved in that, but oh no, it's all a scam. And that's because that's what they believe. That's their corporate mantra that's been fed down to them. That's the memo. We do not get involved in cryptocurrency, which is ironic really, because most of the banks use it. Case in point, Santander. I went in there and asked about crypto, and oh no, we don't have anything to do with it. And I said, well, that's interesting because you're partnered with a crypto company. And they went, what? I said, Santander is partnered with a crypto company. Don't you know that? And they went, no, we don't know anything about that. I said, well, you might want to find out. But that's typical of the corporate structure. Lower level don't get the memo. They get a revised memo that is usually the opposite of reality. So it's not that the people lie to you, it's just they don't know any different. And you go in there thinking these people are going to know because they got a badge on. But they ain't. They haven't got a clue. They know what they're told. They probably know a lot less than you do. And that's certainly the same in the corporate world. When you get into the lower management, you know, you're just rattling around like a ball in a pinball machine. As you start to move up the levels, then the corruption and the bullshit becomes apparent. And the higher up you go, the less work you do. The lower down you go, the more work you do. And that's a fact. You get to dealer principal level or regional director level or national director level, they do less and less and less because they have people below them, so they can just farm out every single thing that comes on their desk. Get 10 things across their desk in the morning, and by 10 o'clock 9 of them have been farmed out to somebody else. And that's the way it works. That's why they're always strutting around with their chest puffed out, smiling. If you've got a good one, they come around and shake your hand. If you've got a bad one, they come around and moan about your shoes. One of my old bosses used to do that. He'd pick a subject. Every other day there'd be something new to keep you on your toes. Sometimes it would be whether your shoes were clean enough, or, you know, another time it'll be, why aren't you wearing a long sleeve shirt? Yeah, just crap. But yeah, it's through boredom. They have nothing to do. They sit in their ivory tower with nothing to do, so they devise plans to do crap. But that's the corporate world, and that's the same, I think, with government. Genius. As big as BP is. Well, yeah. The US is screwing themselves. Have been for years. Still taking it. Still printing the money. What's the occasion for wearing a patriotic red shirt, or is it Chinese? I don't know, people. That's a good thing, Sailor. It's just a shirt. There's no occasion. It just happens to be red. Much as if I was wearing a blue one, that would be blue. Yeah, there's nothing to do with anything really. It's a red shirt. I've got blue ones. I've got green ones, white ones, grey ones, yellow and white. And I've got multiple shirts, of course. Most people have. But we do associate certain colours with brands, don't we? If you're into motorbikes and I say Suzuki, what colour do you think of? If I say Kawasaki, what colour do you think of? Same with Honda and Yamaha. There's colours associated with these brands, and they all turn out different colours now. But if you say Kawasaki, everybody goes green. You say Suzuki, everybody says blue and white. These colours are associated with these brands, and I think it's the same with countries. You know, so me wearing a red shirt, yeah, I suppose, you know, it looks patriotic, doesn't it? It looks like I'm flying the Russian flag or the Chinese flag. It's not the case at all. I'll tell you what it is. I thought I'd do a live stream without being half naked like I normally am. So the first thing that I saw when I opened the wardrobe door this morning was a red shirt. So that's why I'm wearing it. Kaylin, it's all about profit. Amen. What are some tips for learning Russian? Check out my YouTube channel homepage. There's a link there to a lovely lady called Oksana who teaches Russian. She's got a lovely online platform. You don't need to download anything. It's all cloud-based, or not cloud-based. It's all online anyway. Don't know. You know me and technicals. But yeah, she's a qualified English teacher, qualified Russian teacher. She's fluent in both, and she's a former translator. So if you're looking to learn Russian, click the link. Or join my Telegram group. Ask about it. Oksana is in my Telegram group. And we've also got an English and Russian learning Telegram group as well. It's very, very small. It's a closed group. It's only for invite only. But if you're serious about learning a language, join my Telegram group. Have a type. Text me something. Type something in the group, and we'll have a chat and maybe add you to that as well. Pat, I can't afford a real car. No, I've had many real cars, as you call them. God, yeah. What have I had? Everything, anything and everything. BMs, Mercs, Range Rovers, lovely Mustang I had, 5 litre GT manual, good fun with that. Yeah, it depends what you call a real car. But what I can tell you is my Haval H9 is about a fifth of the price of a Toyota Land Cruiser, and it ain't a fifth of the car, I tell you that. So yeah, it's a very good car in its own right, a very good car in its own right. So Chinese cars have really come on. If you just go and buy the cheapest Chinese car you're going to get, then you're going to get exactly what you pay for. But like I say, the H9 is a very, very, very good car. Malachi. See ya. Climate scam. Yeah, it is. It's just about creating taxation classes, and that's the way that countries that just rely on moving money around, you know, selling stuff and turning money over, they have to create new taxation classes, because ultimately they've got to get more revenue in, and they can't just keep putting taxes up. They're already at record highs, because that's, as I said, that's too obvious, and people see that. They see it in their wage packet and they start grizzling and start complaining, start resigning, working out that it's better to be on the dole claiming benefit than it is actually going and busting their nuts. So they're at a point where they can't do that anymore, so they have to do it with stealth taxes instead, and that's what the climate thing's all about. Yeah, Obama, what can you say about that? I think everybody knows the story. Does anybody ever get held to account in the US for anything they do? Nah. Same in Britain. Does anybody get held to account? Nah. They all retire with a pension. Look at Liz Truss. What a lovely gig that was. Prime Minister for what, 41 days or something stupid, and then resigns and has got a lovely pension. So got the job, did an absolutely disastrous job of the job, and then gets pensioned off with a nice fat salary into the bank once a month. Sounds like a plan. I'll do it. Loca, hello. Right, Nostradamus, definitely. Very apt name for you. Okay. Chris, yes, I think so. Advanced party. Okay. Do you know what still amazes me is people that make a Breaking Bad reference. I mean, I've watched 1 or 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. It's not really, you know, it didn't excite me. I mean, people get super excited by these sort of series that come on TV, and they get sort of almost tribal about them, don't they? But yeah, mildly entertaining, I guess, at the time of watching. But yeah, what amazes me is people still think that they're the first person that's ever said something about Hank from Breaking Bad. Yeah, you're super funny. They come in and they bash away at their keyboard and they're smiling to themselves, thinking that they've made some really intellectual comment that nobody has ever seen or heard before, and they go, "Oh my God, that's so funny." No. So yeah, I'll just delete them now and ban them. I'm going to add no value. So if you want to be funny, but be original. Don't just regurgitate what other people are saying. There's a lot of that. Thank you for being a Trump supporter. He will save us. I am not a Trump supporter, I'm afraid. He's a weak leader. He's a weak leader. He's not a leader. That's the wrong choice of words. He's just a weak man in control of the country. Well, if he is, of course, that's debatable, isn't it? But he's weak. He has no backbone. He has no ability to make decisions and stick to them. So consequently, he just throws stuff out in all directions. So I am not a Trump supporter, I'm afraid. I had high hopes for him. I actually gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, well, hopefully he's learnt from his first administration what the gig is. And no, He hasn't. He's still surrounded himself with the wrong people, with a bunch of neocon loons. Strama concerned about unchecked aliens from torn countries. Yeah. Mike Evans, your party, Jeremy Corbyn, my party, okay, has 800,000 sign-ups so far and isn't even officially a party yet. Okay, your party, Jeremy Corbyn. Okay, yeah, I mean, let's face it, a number was done on Jeremy Corbyn. He was too risky, wasn't he, for the establishment? So they did a very good number on him, just as they did with David Icke, if you remember that name. He's still around, David, but they destroyed him in the press. You know, a systemic campaign against him because he was telling a lot of truth. You look at what David Icke said 30 years ago and see how much of it is true. But he's still around, but yeah, they destroyed him in the UK press. Gonna have to face another way in a minute because it sounds like something might be coming over. Get a lot of stuff flying through the area. Starmer lowest vote share. Yeah, I mean his approval rating is ridiculously old. Guys, I wish I could show you what's coming. Epic. Might have to just put you down for a minute. Oh, if I face that way. Oh, yeah, face that way. Bear with. Normal service will be resumed in a second. I love stuff that flies in the air. Let's call it that. There we go. Awesome. I was always a fan of flying displays. Biggin Hill, Farnborough. Love all of that stuff. Bit of a geek when it comes to that sort of thing. So it's like paradise here. No, I'm not worried. Not when I see that sort of stuff flying about all the time. I ain't worried at all. But of course, you know, that you have to listen to Western media. That doesn't exist, does it? It's a figment of my imagination, what you just heard. It's sound effects that I've added to this live stream. Yeah. Lowest vote share in British history. Yeah, there you go. Lowest vote share, but a massive majority. And it just shows you the way that our political system is rigged. Okay. Mike Evans, no they're not. Okay. Reform is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, as I say, reform, it's I can say the lesser of the evils. That's not a good recommendation, is it really? Just to be not as bad as the others. It's a corporate thing, that. Make everyone else look bad so you look good. Not actually be good yourself. Margaret, hi. Over stamp duty on third home and over 40k on rain. Yeah. Farage is a millionaire hypocrite. Farage is a reluctant figure. He's found himself where he was quite happy on the sidelines, mouthing off and just being, you know, somebody that people talk about. Now all of a sudden people have actually gone, okay, yeah, well we're going to listen to you and we're going to go with you and what you're saying. So yep, that's it. And now he's going, oh fuck, he's got a gig that he didn't want. Well, careful what you wish for. And the problem with that, as I said earlier, is that he actually ain't going to know what to do. So he's going to be a Trump 2.0. Let's call him Frump, shall we? Starmer total failure as chief CPS 2014. He knows what's going on. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is what I mean with Starmer. It's just one scandal after another. So it's just really a matter of time, isn't it? Mike Evans, this country is becoming as Marika, okay? Right-wing, i.e. Nazi and fascist isn't a good look. No. And the thing is, in the UK, we were brainwashed and programmed to believe that Nazis disappeared in the Second World War. I did. That's what I believed. No such thing as Nazis anymore, is there? You know, just a few jackboot thugs walking around with the DMs tied up and the shaved heads. But, you know, just stupid weekenders, we used to call them. But that's not the case, is it? It's absolutely rife in Europe. Absolutely rife. And you've only got to look at these unelected bureaucrats and the heads of certain organisations and look at their history. Have a look at Mertz's background. Have a look at von der Leyen's background. Have a look at Kaya Kallas's background. By background, I mean family tree. Have a look at their family tree. Yeah. And you really should. Because then everything becomes a lot clearer. You shouldn't focus on Trump. I don't. You should focus on the major powers. He could very well be working with them. It's funny to me when people get wrapped up in politics. Yeah, it's all, you know, Trump's working with this government, this working with that government. I don't think he's got the brain power to work with any government. You know, some people think he's some kind of genius, other people think he's a fool. I think he's somewhere in between. But he's incapable of doing that job. So he wanders around because he's got this badge that says he's the best. So he wanders around with his chest puffed out, much like you'd get a dealer principal that doesn't really know what they're doing, doesn't understand the business. So they walk around, you know, with this air about them that they're all powerful and everybody should run around like cockroaches when they enter the room. But the reality is, when the big boss comes down, they wilt because they haven't got anybody around them. They've got to give answers that they weren't expecting to be questions. So then they have to defer those questions that they get from the big boss and say, oh yeah, I don't have that information at hand, but I'll get it for you. And then as soon as the big boss goes, they breathe a sigh of relief and bark at everybody else below them. And that's Trump. He hasn't got the answers. He asks other people. Mike, taxes are fine at the moment. Well, yeah, they're as high as they're going to go. The visual taxes, but your stealth taxes are just going to keep going up. So all your hidden taxes, as I was talking about earlier, they're going to keep going up because they can't make the ones in plain sight go up anymore. Nobody will put up with it. Yep, failure as Prime Minister. Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah. Matt Bassett, no point you being here. Dos Vidania. Yeah, I can't read that. So, no point in typing it to me in Russian, I'm afraid. Def not capo. My friend, colleague is Russian. I already knew the truth from watching the war. It's way before 2014 is when it started, but yeah, I mean, that's when the current military conflict, it's always a bone of contention, isn't it? Always causes controversy when I start talking about this, but just in legal terms, Russia is very much about international law and following it. And I know a lot of people will go, oh my God, that's absolute rubbish, and laugh at that. But just go and look. Everything they do falls within certain framework. And there are 3 steps on the escalation ladder to all-out declared war. And Russia is still on step 1. There's another step, and then there's declared war. So still only on step 1. And they've all got legal framework around them. They've all got certain restrictions, and Russia is still operating within those. So it's not a war as such. Robin Davey, you're a genius, aren't you? Why don't you move to Russia if you love Putin that much? Well, does this look like the UK to you? Oh, mate, Robin, get with the programme. Mike, I wish. Robin, you silly little boy, off to school with you. Thanks, Mike. You're a normal man. Good morning. Honest taxpayer. Thank you. Good morning to you too. Trudy, hi. Fisty, don't eat your glasses. No, that's the David Blaineism, isn't it? He eats glasses. Which country? Russia. This is Russia. Namely southern Russia. Just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa. So stick into Google Maps, A-N-A-P-A. You'll see where we are, on the coast of the Black Sea, about 50 miles from Crimea. Can I block people? Yep. But these held for review things, I don't get to see. Well, I do, I just can't be bothered. Bob Lazar. Thin ice, my pedigree chum. What's the temperature there today? About 30 degrees, I think, today. 29, 30 degrees. Pool temperature is about 29 degrees. It was last night at 10:30. Mike, Papa is spelled Nana, or looks to. Yeah, that's, you know, have a look at my alphabet video on my channel. The Russian alphabet. It will demonstrate the difficulties and the challenges. And case in point, one of my recent videos, pektopar. It's the first Russian word I learned. And Russians, bear with me before you all go, what on earth? That's how it looks to an Englishman. It's restaurant. Or restaurant, there's no T at the end. But restaurant, that's what it means. But it's spelt pektopar to us. Have a look. Can you sing for us? No, you ain't going to pay me enough money. I'm a very good singer, actually. 6:20 in the UK. Yeah, you're a couple of hours behind me, aren't you? So 6:44 now. Blimey, I'm a long way behind the chat, guys. Sorry, I will catch up now. Yeah, we're hosed on the Let's All Come Together. Exactly, that's what we're all sold. MG is owned by SAC. Oh, Shanghai now. Chinese state-owned. Okay, oh, well, that probably explains it. I think it was owned by Tata at one point. I'll keep my diesel Volvo. I don't blame you. Go on forever. Built like a tank. Get a Toyota or a Lexus. No. I would do. That was one of the vehicles that I was looking to get. The big Lexus 4x4 or Toyota Land Cruiser. But I've got a brand new Chinese version, which I'm not going to be naive and say is as good, but it is a fifth of the price. And there isn't a fifth, it's not a fifth of the car. It's absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, it drives amazingly and has got every toy. And I'll do a review on it soon and you can make your own mind up. More gadgets mean that more things can go wrong. Yeah, people have been saying that for years, haven't they? Alexei, I'm glad I'm getting better and better at reading Russian. I'm getting better and better. You are or I am? I'm getting better. Yeah, I try and read Russian every day. That's the way. That's the way for me anyway. It's going to be through vocabulary. Get a local larder or a Japanese car. Well, I was going to buy a Subaru, but yeah, we ended up with a Haval F7X, which was great car. I thought I was going to keep it for a couple of weeks while I looked for the car that I wanted, and we ended up keeping it for 18 months. It was that good. Really great car. The only thing I didn't like was the gearbox. It was a bit lazy, you know. It was sort of, especially if you wanted to do a 3-point turn, it was a twat. If you want to do a 3-point turn in the middle of the road, yeah, it was a bit lazy. But the H9 has got a ZF gearbox in it, 8-speed ZF gearbox. And it's freaking epic. Absolutely epic. Hi, I'm new to your channel and I'm watching you from India, Mr. Bear. Well, you're in the right, you've got the right name, but you're in the wrong place. Get your ass over here, mate. Vlad's View, plant trees. Plant a lemon tree. Yeah. The thing is, you can plant anything here and it will grow. But yeah, we've got plums, apricots, cherries, peaches, walnuts, and some other stuff. I have no clue about. Looks like an England t-shirt. No, it's just red. Your lawn is a bit dead. Yeah, we've had a very, very dry summer. There's been no rain. But also our lawn isn't really a lawn. It's not like the conventional sense in the UK that we're used to grass. This is like 6 different varieties, and it's all flowers, and it's more like meadow grass than lawn, if that makes sense. So yeah, lots of little flowers, different colours. But yeah, it is very dry, definitely. Same climate as the south of France. Cade, no, it's not. This is Russia. Looks warm today. Yeah, same. 300 days a year of sunshine we get. So yeah, I'll be in that swimming pool a little bit later. I assume you moved from Western country. What made you want to move to Russia? Good question, Cade. Yes, you assumed correctly. I moved from the UK. Came here in October 2021 on holiday. Fell in love with the country, fell in love with the people. Didn't fall out of love with England. You know, a lot of people go, oh, England's terrible, that's why I moved. That's not the case. That isn't I'm not happy with the way that my country is going. I'm watching it decline over decades. I'm long in the tooth, I'm old. And I've watched it just go down and down and down. Let me spin you guys round. I'm staring at the pool, you've done that a lot. So, yeah, it wasn't a case that, you know, I'm an England hater and I just, you know, now I'm outside of England. Oh, England's terrible, England's terrible. It's not that at all. I'm disappointed with the government, disappointed with the way it's handling our country and itself on the global stage. But it was a case that I fell in love with Russia and the Russian people, and their attitude and their warmth and their hospitality and their generosity, and most importantly their sincerity. And yeah, you know, it's been the biggest eye-opener of my life, without a doubt, coming to Russia. And a very humbling experience. Why would you buy a car in Russia? So you can sit in gas lines. Yeah, see, Gregory, you watch too much media, mate. So all of that petrol queues and Russian petrol shortages and all blah, blah, blah. Nah, sorry. Figment of the West's imagination. They took a video of a queue of cars at a petrol station and then attached a narrative for people like you to suck up. Of course, I don't suppose you've ever seen a queue of cars at a petrol pump. Doesn't happen, does it? Yeah, right. And that's all it was. It was the end of holiday season. People going back from the south back towards Moscow and all of that, and yeah, stopping for fuel. And consequently, you know, somebody videoed it, got uploaded, and then the West ran with it as a crisis in Russia. Nah, no crisis. Fuel prices are the same, 65 rubles for a litre of fuel, about 60 pence a litre. That has gone up from about 50 pence, so it's gone up probably 8 pence, 8 rubles maybe, I think it's gone up in the last 4 years. And given the current situation, not bad. But no, there's no fuel shortage. Much as there wasn't any food shortage, much as there wasn't any money shortage, there was no bank runs, you know, but of course, people like you love that sort of stuff, don't you? Do a bit of research, mate, proper research. Liam, thank you. People call me Bruce Willis, probably, post-illness. Bless him, that was a shame, wasn't it? I'm not saying I was a massive Bruce Willis fan, but it's sad to see that, isn't it? Gregory, Russia has all the gas. Yeah. Needs watering. Yeah, it needs. Trouble is, watering isn't going to do it. It needs sustained rain. You know, you can water it. You know, flood it with water every single day, which you can't do, really, can you? Realistically. But it just, the ground needs soaking. That said, if you probably dig down 8 inches, the ground will be moist. That's why everything's still growing. That's why all the trees are growing. Thank God for that. Not any of the others are any better. Yeah. It's called your, okay, party. Ah, yeah, okay. Your party is the Corbyn thing, is it? Okay. How much was the property, if you don't mind me asking? No, we built it. Well, not, you know, not with my own bare hands, but we bought the land, and we pay the developer to build the property. So property is currently for sale for 21 million rubles, which is a shade under 200 grand. In my hometown in the UK, this would be between 800 and £1 million. So give you an idea, about a quarter to a fifth of the cost of what it would be in the UK. Sailor, thank you. Sorry, you're probably long gone. I'm way behind with the chat, but I'm trying. Farage, better of two evils? No, I didn't say he's better of two evils. I said he's probably the best of all the evils. You know, I mean, the Conservatives are incapable. Can you imagine Cammy, whatever her face is, being Prime Minister? No. Starmer, well, you know what you got with that. So, yeah. Trouble is, that it's a bit of a moo point, really, because that's who's going to be the Prime Minister. Farage will be your next Prime Minister. So there's no point in saying, oh, we need to pick this or pick that, because it's all factored in. Farage is it. Peter, thank you. Appreciate that. Liked and subbed. Yeah, please subscribe. Please share. Please share. That's important. YouTube doesn't do that. So you don't get to see people like me telling the truth about living in Russia. Doesn't fit the narrative, does it? So, yeah, please share. Please. It is bizarre how Nazis never left Eastern Europe or the satellite states. Liam, it is when your eyes are open to it. Yeah, it's like I say, this last few years for me have been just a cosmic eye-opener. Really has. You know, when you're in the UK, you're surrounded by water, you rattle around on your little island and you rattle around in your own little world. You believe what comes out of the TV to a degree. A lot of the time you just look at it and go, load of bollocks. And a lot of the time you just go, oh, I couldn't care less, it's rubbish. It's only when you come out of that, it's much like a bad relationship. All the time you're in it, the only people that see it are your mates. You don't. You just get on with it every day and you grind through it. And it's only when you're out of it that you look back in and go, oh my God. Yeah. Trump, yeah. Liam, sounds like a lot of commie BS to me. Kevin Jones, hey cutie, we met on Grindr, did we now? Kevin, you're of no value, as my dad used to say. Lee Elrod, hello mate. Haven't talked in a minute. It's been a while. Hope you're keeping well. So you can go as well. I don't. A lot of guys interact, and I used to interact with trolls. You know, I used to like trying to destroy them with facts if they tried to make a factual statement. You know, usually about Russia or Ukraine, both of which they knew nothing about. And I'm not saying that I'm the most informed about either, but I've certainly spent a long time looking at it at least, not just reading mainstream media. And I used to do that. Now I can't be asked. Just, yeah. Bye, troll. You live in a Western place, not real Russia. James Purdy. Okay, mate. I have no idea what you mean there. Not real Russia. Oh, this is real Russia. Yeah. So no idea what you mean there. But you're wrong. You know nothing about me. Scottish, it's a load of bollocks, mate. I love Scotland. David Stevenson, 7 AM. Nice, caught up with the chat, that's a good thing. Thank you. Right, let's unplug the charger. He might go a bit wobbly for a minute. Right, that's it. The last live stream died because I ignored the low battery warning. Oh, let's not put that in the sun. Go pop, wouldn't it? Yeah, so there we go. Right, any more stuff that I wanted to talk about? I've got a little list. Is there anything? No, done that. Climate change, load of bollocks, yeah. EVs, car plane, coalition of the willing, chortle. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the West and you're listening to all of this nonsense coming out of Europe, these European leaders, Just take it as that. It is nonsense. It's all posturing, and it's all just about creating a good excuse for a piss-up, a nice meal at the taxpayer's expense. But it's not grounded in any kind of reality. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So take it with a pinch of salt. This one's Ripple. It's our Egyptian mal. Right, sweetie. Hmm? Oh. What you doing? What you doing? Got an M on your head. That's how you spot an Egyptian mal. Got an M on the top of the head. That's one way anyway. The other way is they like water. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Just want cuddles. Cuddles turns into fights, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. See? Cuddles turns into fights. Got a blue paw, as you can see. A load of stitches. Decided to run around the garden at high speed. Ran onto the concrete, slipped, got a paw underneath the fence. Bit of a freak accident, but sliced it open. Claret everywhere. Off to the vets. Vet loves us. Going to be buying a new veterinary station here soon, I think. The amount of vet visits we have. Oh, I can hear more stuff of the fixed wing type. Lovely. Love it. Wish I could show you guys what I see here. Because it would be a good way, really, of, you know, dispelling the nonsense about the Russian military, you know, and the state of it according to the West. If I could show you what I saw, it would blow your minds, for sure. Especially if you have no concepts, you haven't done any independent research. You're just listening to what mainstream tells you about the Russian military. Washing machine chips. Oh, epic. Oh, what a thing. Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, you know, although there's nothing stopping me from filming it, I can film what's just gone past. No problem at all. The Russian constitution gives me that right to film anything in public. The only thing I can't do is go to a military installation or a police station and film those. But that's true in any country. You know, you go to the UK and go into the police station and start filming, see what happens. Go to a military base in the UK, start filming, see what happens. So it's no different. But it is common sense, isn't it? Given the current situation, why would anybody with a brain think it's a good idea to go and film anything military? You wouldn't. The only YouTubers that do it are scumbags, aren't they? What's that? I can't remember his name. I'm going to call him a scumbag. What is his name? Not Bald. I haven't got much thoughts on that guy, to be honest. Not good ones, anyway. No, the other idiot that generated a load of clicks on videos by putting himself in a situation where he got arrested. And then, you know, oh, I've been arrested. Oh, Mr. Innocent. This is how bad Russia is. Fuck off. No time for you, you're a scumbag. Anyhow, I went off on a rant there, didn't I? Let's try and catch up again. Oh, God, you guys. You guys. There you go. Never get into an argument with idiots. They will only bring you down to their level. Yeah, my dad used to say, if you argue with an idiot, you just end up with two idiots arguing. So there's no point. So I don't bother. You know, the Hank Schraders and the Russia bad and the Slava Ukris and all of those muppets. I'll just delete them now. Because, you know, if people talk like that after this amount of time, they are brainless or they are just nefarious. They are just you know, just out for causing trouble. Yeah, so they're either clueless or they're bad people, neither of which are any use to me or you guys, really. David Stevenson, Scotland loves England, we're brothers in arms. David, I will respectfully agree with you. So I've done several tours of Scotland, driving tours. Spent a lot of time in Scotland, know it quite well. Absolutely love Scotland. I'm telling you now, I love Scotland. It's one of my favourite places on earth. And the first time I went up there, I was expecting what the media had told me. Oh, the Scottish hate the English. You're not going to get a warm welcome in Scotland. Because I've never been there. So that's what I was expecting. And it was completely the opposite. Look at these two. This is UFC, this. We have this most mornings. Ultimate Fighting Cats. They get going again in a minute. They got that look about them. Yeah, I've got to say the reception I had in Scotland from complete strangers, from petrol stations to pubs to restaurants, the people were lovely, so friendly. I've got friends in Scotland again, just lovely people. So yeah, I love Scotland, I really do. One of my favourite places. Whereabouts in Scotland, David? Are you living there? Is it expensive to live in Russia? Depends on your base setting, I suppose. But if you want to compare to the UK, no. So houses are about a fifth of the price of the UK and less. I'll give you an example. Mike Jones, if you've got Substack, check out his channel, Off Grid in Russia. If you haven't got Substack, get it just for Mike's channel, Off Grid in Russia. He's just bought himself a house with a sauna and 1,000 square meters of land, which is a bit bigger than the land we've got here, in a lovely little village. Looks really picturesque, and he paid $6,000 for the whole lot. Now don't get me wrong, the house is 100 years old and it's what you call basic, but that's the purpose of the channel, it's off grid. But nevertheless, 1,000 square meters of land, a house and a sauna for $6,000. You can't buy a shed in the UK for that. Well, you probably can, you just won't have a base for it. So it's all relative, Ian. But the biggest thing you'll notice here is taxes, or the lack of. So tax rate here for income tax is 13%, lower end 15% on the higher end. That's across the board, doesn't matter what you earn, it's 15%. If you're self-employed, or I think they call it an entrepreneur, it's 6%, my understanding. But then you get into things like utilities. Our gas bill is about £1 a month as an average at the moment. Electricity bill about £30 a month, but we're running a swimming pool, air conditioning units and a 12 kilowatt electric sauna. So, you know, we are chomping through electric, I suppose. Yeah, house tax, you pay house and land tax once a year. So for us, that will be about £12 for the year. There's no such thing as council tax. I think you pay about £1 a month for rubbish, to get your waste collected. So that's the biggest changes. Food prices, a little bit cheaper than the UK on a lot of stuff, very cheap. Some stuff kind of similar, a little bit cheaper. But like I say, your biggest savings are in utilities, petrol. You know, probably one's biggest cost. I used to spend between £400 and £600 a month on petrol in the UK. Here I spend £50, £60 a month. One, obviously, choice of car. Haval's a lot more frugal than my 5 litre V8 Mustang or my 4.4 Range Rover. But the other is obviously the cost of fuel, condition of the roads. They're a lot better here, I'll tell you that. Midnight in Montana. Wow, I bet that's an epic place to live. I only ever seen it on the TV, YouTube videos, but it looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love to visit. Skippy's going to sleep shortly. Don't blame you at midnight. Hardcore. How's the war impacted you? Good question. Good question, Jennifer. So it's impacted me in the freeness of travel, i.e. no direct flights to the UK. Oh, that's another one of our cats, look. That's Rosie the Bengal. Yeah, so there's no direct flights to the UK or from the UK anymore, so that was an impact. I'm trying to think. I suppose it's impacted Russia. I mean, you know, some people say sanctions don't work and haven't done anything. Others say that the country has collapsed because of sanctions, and it's neither. Sanctions have had an impact on Russia, but in a way that they have dealt with, and now they're just words. They don't really do anything. Russia has found workarounds for everything, and the economy is booming. And you can tell the economy is booming because wherever you go, they're building new roads, they're building new houses, they're building apartment blocks, offices, industrial units, wherever you go. So that's not a struggling economy. Not like the West would have you believe, but yeah. I'm trying to think. On a basic level, it meant that we built our house over the internet. So we never actually saw this house until we came here. We saw the land, which was 4 pieces of wood hammered in the ground. You own that bit. But everything else was done over the internet with the developer and our friends. So, yeah, it stopped us being able to sort of come backwards and forwards, look at it. And obviously, being cut off from the SWIFT system has created some problems. But that's on an individual basis. That's probably the biggest issue. If you want to move money. But good question, Jennifer, thank you. Focus on Russia so you don't see how much we've ruined your country. Yep, that's the narrative, mate. Exactly that. Quagmire, you lived in China before? Cool. Love to go. No, I don't. Where are you? David, come on, spelling. I'm just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa, A-N-A-P-A in Google Maps, about 50 miles from Crimea. You'll see where we are. Oh, UFC again. Go on. Go on. You've got an audience. They want to see you having a punch up. Duh. Yeah, sorry, the Quagmire comment, you know, yeah, it's kindergarten stuff, that, isn't it? Lad is having an argument with himself. Sure is. What tree is that? Looks like a mango. No, that one's a peach. I've had the peaches off of it already. They were lovely. What about the leaves down? Well, it's end of season, so yeah, it's autumn here, so the leaves are dropping. Obviously, they drop off the cherry tree first, and then we've got to cut it back. Cool dog, yeah. How long are you in Russia? How long am I planning to stay in Russia, or how long have I been in Russia? Good garden, mate. Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. Long way from finished. But, yeah. We're happy. Comfortable. Probably want to build an enclosure over this swimming pool and then heat it. It's not heated at the moment, but it's about 29 degrees in the pool. I've got a sauna. I was in that last night for the first time. Actually, I better go in the sauna before the wife goes in there, because I think I left it in a bit of a mess. And I was being very European last night. Didn't have any beer. I was drinking bloody Alco Pops of all things. Look, it's not good, is it? These are quite brutal. Spicy, very nice. Oh, I'll clean that up later. But yeah, I had myself a little party whilst I was in the sauna last night. Christ, is that still on? No, it just holds the heat. Something mental. It's still warm, that. Yeah, it's still warm. I better make sure it's actually turned off. Sure it is. Yeah, it's off. I was doubting myself then. Yeah, anyhow, I've got a bit of cleaning up to do in there. A bit of a tidy up. But yeah, we're happy with our house. Although we are selling it. Well, I say we are selling it. We have it for sale. It doesn't mean we're selling it. Housing market is quite suppressed here at the moment for a number of reasons. It's a bit of an anomaly. So, wow, Dream Garden, thank you. Wait, this is Russia? Yes, Kieran, this is Russia. Was that a treehouse for the dwarf? No, it's for the cats. So that damn plum tree will not die. I've tried many a time, so have lots of other people. It's been dragged out of the ground 2 or 3 times, literally ripped out of the ground. I've butchered it, I've chopped all of the branches off, so it was a stick. The trunk of it is completely split open, and it's still grows. Yeah. What part of Russia is this? This is the southern part of Russia. It's in a region called Krasnodarsky Krai. If you're in the UK, a region here is like a county in the UK. So our region, or county, is 76,000 square kilometres. So it's about the size of England. That's how big Russia is. Yeah, you won't comprehend the size of Russia. You can be told it as many times as as you like, but it won't make any difference. It won't register in your head till you come here. But yeah, southern Russia, mate. Simodo 11. Matteo, you see construction sites and that makes you think economy is great. No, Matteo, I know the economy is great because I live here. So I see shops with everything, no empty shelves, despite what the West says. There's no queues at petrol stations because there's plenty of petrol. Petrol's cheap. I see, the latest and greatest cars driving about on the road. Yeah, as I say, construction everywhere, infrastructure everywhere. No, I don't see some construction sites and think the economy's great. I know the economy's great. I live here. So, unlike you, Matteo. Right. Igra. Hi, Chris. How can you really prove that you are in Russia now? There is not a single sign for this. Maybe show a newspaper with Russian letters. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to prove to anybody that I'm in Russia now. I don't really care, but... what's that? Cat food. I don't know if it is cat food, but we're using it as some cat food thing. What else? What else? What else is handy? Good question. Well, here, blue skies and a swimming pool. But it could be the south of France, couldn't it? Yeah, it could be. It's not, but it could be. But it's not. But it could be, but it's not. What else can I show you that's typically Russian while I'm on the outside? Not a lot, really. Lots of plants growing. Shall I wander indoors just to indulge you? I'm sure there's plenty of stuff written in Russian. Let's indulge you. Why not? I haven't had I'm on a movie set for a while. Had that a few times. Oh, oh, Derek the Hoover is out at the minute, mopping the floor. Box of tissues. What else we got? Don't know what that is. Can't read it, it's Russian. What else we got? Some cakes. Some pineapple juice. Yeah. Oh no, I must be in Japan, look. Bit of Japanese whiskey. Next to the Russian water. Oh, hang on. Dobry Cola. There you go. That's the one thing that will prove I'm in Russia. Well, that and sunflower seeds. I do like a sunflower seed or two. There we go. Still doubt I'm in Russia? Don't care. But yeah, thanks, Igor. I'm not very good with pronunciation on names, you know that. Kieran, aren't you in danger of being arrested on charges of espionage? According to the West, yeah. Yeah, if you believe what comes out of Western media, you know, government warning, I think, from the UK is do not travel to Russia, risk of death. You'll be arrested at the airport and sent to the front. What's a load of bollocks? So, for a start, there is no forced conscription here in Russia. In fact, there is no conscription here in Russia. There is volunteers at the moment. Some will say, oh, yeah, volunteers in air quotes. No, people volunteer for the military. Sign up every month at a rate of, I can't remember what it is. It's quite a lot. I think it's something like 1,500 people a day sign up. It's a lot. But no forced conscription. But Western media wouldn't let you believe that. It's very peaceful. It is at the moment. Yeah, a little breeze. What's going to crash first, the British economy or the Russian economy? Well, that's an easy question. Definitely the British one, unfortunately. It's already in crisis. Talking about IMF bailouts, aren't they, for the UK? I think one of the ministers has said it's a case of when, not if. So, yeah, not in good way. Matteo, so you're about 3 weeks in Russia, if I see right on your channel. No, you don't see right, do you? I think it's going to be not so long until they draft you into the army. Well, Matteo, you don't see right, do you, mate? Guess maths wasn't your strong point. No, October 2021 is when we first came here. And yeah, I mean, if I can build this house in 3 weeks, I'll be a rich man. Back to school for you, Sonny. Thanks for the explanation. You're welcome, Smodo. What are the local people like? Are they friendly to you? Do you speak Russian? I don't speak Russian. I'll speak some words. Please, thank you, hello, goodbye, that kind of thing. You know, some basic manners stuff, which I think is important that you learn. Although the first Russian word I learned was restaurant. And then after that was a bit of Russian swearing, courtesy of my wife. Bliet, apparently. And pizdiets. Although I get that one confused with pizdata. One's not good, one's very, very bad. And the other one is very, very good. So it's a, you know, it's a bit of a bugger when you get them confused. You want to say something's really nice and wonderful and great, and you go pizdiets, it's not good, and vice versa. Anyhow, I must stop swearing. But yes, Simodo, incredibly so. I've been reduced to tears many a time. I'm a big enough man to admit that. By the courtesy, the generosity, the sincerity. I've been humbled here many a time. So I came here expecting, I don't know really, I think I was expecting from a Western perspective, I was expecting the people to be very, very anti-British person. But Russians have got brains and they're capable of separating media and governments from people. unlike us in the West, get behind the Sun or the Telegraph or the Guardian, and they say you've got to hate the French next week because well, they're blockading the port and stopping 10 fishing boats from coming out, so we've got to hate the French. So everybody runs around going, oh, the bloody French. And then the week after, oh, you've got to hate the Germans, they're putting up the price of sausages. Oh, the bloody Germans. That's how it goes in England, really. That's what we do. We don't have the ability to think for ourselves. We lost the ability of critical thought. Russians haven't. And my experience is that Russians will treat you how you treat them. And many a time I've had a conversation with a stranger, you know, somebody new, not necessarily a stranger, but been introduced to somebody, and they've asked that question. You know, first question that a Russian that I'm new to will ask me is, "Oh, you're from England? Fantastic. What do you think of Russia?" Very patriotic. They're very proud of their country. But that's the first question. What do you think of Russia? And yeah, it has been a very humbling experience coming here and being treated so incredibly well by Russian people. They have been unbelievably friendly and warm. And I'm not saying that for propaganda purposes. I'm just telling you, you know, what's happened to me. And that's all I can do. That's all I ever will do. But yeah, I mean, you know, what do I gain by lying? Think logically. If that was lies, if this is a terrible place to live, and I'm persecuted every day, and I'm in fear of my life, and I'm running the risk of arrest, and I'm, you know, dodging the draft in case I get shipped to the front, why would I still be here, banging out YouTube videos, filming me pool? Just doesn't make sense, does it? So, as they say, if it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense, does it? But no, it's incredible. The people have been magnificent. Are you there for work, and was it difficult to get in? So no, I'm not here for work. I've retired. Coming to Russia has given me the ability to retire, whereas in the UK I would have just been working till I died, living a very meagre lifestyle. So no, I don't work. Difficult to get in? No, Russia has an immigration policy. As long as you follow it, meet the criteria, you're welcome. If you don't, you ain't. It's real simple, very basic stuff. Here's the rules, follow the rules. Here's the list of requirements, meet those requirements, in you come. Real simple. You always wanted to go to the Kubinka Tank Museum. Don't know what that is, but okay. I went to a museum in Germany. Is it the Senheim Museum? Something like that. Try and find it. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. They've got planes on the roof of these buildings. And by planes, I mean Concorde, the Russian equivalent. Or sorry, it's the other way around actually, because Russia was the first to develop passenger supersonic flight. Although you wouldn't know that in the West because you're told that Concorde was the first, and it wasn't. Russian company Tupolev, I believe, was the first internally using supersonic flight. So yeah, have a look for that. I'm sure it's Sensheim Museum. Oh, it's Auto something, I think. But basically, if it's got an engine, it's in this place. And I mean that, everything. From engine-powered skateboards to Formula One cars to tanks to planes, everything is in the museum and on the museum. And the museum is massive. Incredible place. Sort of place you need to go for a long weekend because it will take you that long to get around it. But yeah, awesome place. Have a look at it. Auto Technica, I think that's what it's called. Pizdata Live. Thank you. Correct use, Rubicon. Thanks for that. Dodge City. I've been finding out just recently that the Russian people are full of integrity and very kind, contrary to what I've been taught and told. They love their country dearly as well. True statement, Dodge City kid. True statement. Full of integrity, absolutely. Very sincere, very, very sincere, very genuine. You know, if you're an idiot, they say, you're an idiot. but they won't be a week later, you know, still. They say they're bitter and move on. They don't hold grudges per se. They just say you're being an idiot and they just move on. It's just part of life. It's not offensive or anything. You know, they expect you to be a big boy and understand that, yeah, you're being an idiot. But equally, well, more so, incredibly generous and incredibly friendly. Hospitality here is unbelievable. You go to any Russian house, if you're invited to go to a Russian's house, it's because they genuinely have invited you. They haven't paid lip service to it. They're not just going through the motions to be polite. It's because they genuinely want you to come around their house. And when you do, doesn't matter if you just turn up or whether you go by appointment, there will be food and drink. No matter what. If you just turn up at somebody's house, the first thing the lady of the house will do is start opening all the cupboards in the fridge and getting tea, coffee on the go, biscuits, cakes, meats, cheeses, you name it, it all comes out. And if it's a scheduled visit, it'll already be there. So the hospitality is, and that's completely normal. That's not something that they do specially. That's just normal life. That's how they act. Yeah, incredible people, I've got to say. It gets me a bit emotional sometimes when I think about people of this country and how I've been treated. There's always a rotten apple, of course. There'll always be somebody that will be unpleasant, of course. But for me, I've got to say the people are wonderful. Bailey Johnson. Dos Vidania. Gone. DH, what the fuck? Russian press is famously heavily censored. Is it now? Okay, well, DH, as usual, I guess you're a Westerner, believe in Western bullshit. So every night on TV, there's a channel called Channel 1. Russia Today, Russia 1, was one of many hundreds of channels. And I can watch Western news. I can watch CNN, Fox, I can see reports about that, BBC. So where do you live? Can you see Russian media? Can you watch RT, Russia Today? Can you see Russia 1, Channel 1? Can you watch any of that on TV? Of course you can't. But apparently Russia's censored, yeah? Go outside, mate, and give your head a wobble. David Potts, you're not in Russia. Yeah, we've done that, David. I've already shown that I am, but yeah, whatever. I no care. Zeinzag said hi. Dodge City, yes, us in the West haven't been given all the facts about Russia. No, I haven't been given any facts about Russia. If you've never been to Russia, I promise you everything you know about Russia will be incorrect. Unless you're a scholar, unless you've done a lot of research for years and years and you actually understand. But if you are just, coming across Russia now because of the last few years and the media blow up and the Russophobia, you must hate Russia now all of a sudden, then what you know about Russia is completely false, completely incorrect. Yeah, amazing people, amazing country. Zigzag, fruit trees, yes mate. So, peach tree, cherry tree, I think it's called cherishna, apricots, another cherry tree, I think this is vishnia, something like that, I don't know. Might be peach, might be, yeah, I think that one's peach as well. And then there's another one behind that's something, I don't know, it's green stuff, that's an apricot tree over there. I don't know, my wife knows what it is, she's the gardener. And then we got mulberry down there and some other stuff, more green stuff. Oh, and we bought more green stuff yesterday. We went to a local garden centre, bought more green stuff, and tomorrow I'm off to go and buy fence panels because we're going to make some trellis and stuff for things to climb up. Yeah, I don't know, makes the wife happy, so that's good enough reason to do it. Yes, well wishes there were peach trees. There's, as I said, a few different things there. Hi, what are the wages like in Russia? Wages compared, or just wages? It's easier to say about standard of living, really, because wages aren't a comparison. Because the first thing people do, like Russians think that everybody in the UK is rich, because the wages are significantly higher than they are in Russia. But they don't take into account the fact that rent is significantly higher in the UK. Mortgages, most Russians don't have a mortgage. They own their property, sometimes more than one. Cost of living, you know, utilities, all of that kind of thing is massive difference. So I would say the standard of living is a better comparison. And standard of living in Russia varies, obviously. There are people living in poverty. But I think the poverty ratio has gone down again this year. It's down to about 7% in poverty, which is far lower than anything in Europe. Yeah, I think it's better to talk about the quality of life and standard of living. Most Russians own their own home, whether it's, you know, 100-year-old Soviet era building, or, you know, the latest and greatest. But most Russians own their own home. Mortgages aren't really a thing. Buy-to-let isn't really a thing. Only people that rent properties are people that own it outright, because buying a property and renting it out is not financially viable. For example, that property next door would cost about 10 million rubles, which is about 100 grand UK money, just for ease. But rent value would be 40 to 50 thousand rubles a month, and that would be on the high end. So if you say 500,000 rubles a year in rent, and the property costs 10 million, you've got to go 20 years just to return the money that you spent on the property, on buying it. 20 years. And that's assuming perfect rental income every month for 20 years. And that's assuming no repairs, no upgrades, nothing. And that's 20 years just to return your money. Let alone make any money, any profit. So as you can see, buy to rent, you know, on a mortgage, it's not a thing here. It does not make financial sense. Yes, the property value will increase, but as I say, you know, if you can get between 15 and 20% interest on your money, if you put 10 million in the bank, you get a much better return. 20%, say 15% for argument's sake, say 10%. 10 million, that's 1 million rubles a year in interest from the bank. So why would you want 500,000 for a rental property with a load of hassle? So yeah, so buy-to-let mortgages, not really a thing here. So I would say it's easier to compare standard of living. Kieran, that is great. I was under the impression that a British citizen would struggle to get in. No, not at all. No, far from it. There's Putin recently, last year actually, came out with a 702 decree that makes it a lot easier for Westerners like myself to get in. That was the decree that I came to the country under, and that gets you in for 3 years on a temporary residence permit, and you don't need to speak the language, which is the hardest thing. But there's also part of the test to become a permanent resident of Russia. You have to pass the language test. There's a bit about the law, and there's a bit about history, so you need to understand a bit about that. But under the 702, all of that is waived. So yeah, far from it. Much easier to get into the UK, into Russia now than it was. They treat all strangers with kindness. I think it's just there's a respect here. You know, kids respect elders. People have respect for you, your property. You know, you can leave your phone on the dashboard of your car, and I've done that many a time, and it'll still be there when you come back. Leave your car unlocked. You go into town. You know, you don't worry about leaving your possessions on the table if you go to a restaurant and then go to the toilet. And that includes outdoor seating. And I've actually seen that many a time, especially down on the beach. You'll see people's belongings just sat there and they'll go off into the sea. They go out 100 metres out into the sea, swimming about, and their phones and their purses and everything will just be sat on the beach. Nobody will touch them. It's just a different world. I mean, I haven't seen any crime since I've been in this country. None, zero. Not even road rage. Nothing. Can you say that about your country? Not directed directly at you, mate, but, you know, if you're watching this, do you feel safe in your country? Feel safe here? Oh. The boys are returning. They've been out with Santa's sleigh, dropping off presents. Once again, you'll hear them, you won't see them. They've been dropping stuff off to the neighbours. Sign-Zag, living nice in Russia. Oh yes, I am. Oh, epic. I wish I could show you this stuff. I can, you know, I'm not... Well done, boys. Yeah, I'm not restricted. You know, there's nothing. I wouldn't be breaking any law by filming what you can hear. But it's me, it's my personal choice. Not from any pressure from anyone, but my personal choice. And the reason, I don't want to film anything that could be used by unpleasant people to their advantage. What are you up to? Blimey, look at the tail on that thing. What are you scared of? Ah, it's all right. It's not a dragon. It's just a few helicopters. Don't worry about that. Cat's like, what the... But then, to be fair, one of them's probably called an alligator, so... Would scare a cat, wouldn't it? Oh. Al said hi. Is that Al? AOL? Alney. Maybe. Media does influence the UK. The BBC are also biased to left. Well, BBC stands for the Biased Broadcasting Corporation. We shouldn't pay the TV licence for that lot. No, you shouldn't. Unless you watch live TV, you don't need to either. Natalia, those who ask about wages and prices use critical thinking, please. They differ from one region to another, from one town and village and so on. Use HH site. Yeah, HH is a Russian site. It's headhunters, so it's a site for jobs. To see the wages and supermarkets for prices. That's a good thing. Well done, Natalia. Yeah, that makes more of a sensible thing. You know, wages, really, there is no standard across Russia. You have to remember Russia's the largest country in the world. And that's a throwaway comment. It'll mean nothing to you. Maybe if I say it's 66 times the size of the UK, twice the size of the US. Don't know. Will that make more sense? What about if I say we can go out driving all day and never leave our region? What about if I tell you it took 40 hours on a train from Moscow to come to us, and Moscow's not that far away? I can stand here all day and tell you stats about the size of this country, but the point Natalia has made is a very good one. There are no standardised wages. It varies from region to region, from district to district, from town to town. And it also depends on the occupation, so it's an impossible question, really. It's a bit like saying how much to put radiators in my house. Simple answer. Nothing, because I've already got them. Don't use them. Got 2 radiators upstairs in the bedrooms. Never been on. Got underfloor heating. Put the radiators in because, you know, just in case. Thought maybe in the winter we need them. Never turned them on. Houses are built very well here in the south, actually. They're very, very cool in the summer and very warm in the winter. This damn plum tree. Look at this idiot in it. What are you doing, Ripple? I think you're a bird, don't you? But look at the state of this thing, look. How is it not dead? It's been pulled out of the ground, I think 3 times. It's been run over when we first came here and we were levelling the garden, a tractor ran over it. And then we were digging the swimming pool out, so a JCB ran over it, and I said, don't worry. And it was literally dragged out of the ground, so it sat on the patio there for about 3 weeks. And then I stuck it back in the ground because there was a hole there. Thought, I'll stick it there and I'll make the house for the cats. So I cobbled some wood together for the cats to play in. Chopped all the branches off. And look at it. Oh dear. Yes, Natalia, you're absolutely right there. Difficult to maybe answer, but what do you think of Putin? It's not difficult to answer. I can give you my honest opinion. I think Vladimir Putin will go down in history as one of the world's greatest leaders of our era. What's the word? I can't think of the word. Something. It'll come to me. Not confrontational, not conversational. Oh dear, I've lost the ability to speak. Controversial, there's the word. Controversial statement, I know. But under his leadership, this country has absolutely transformed. Transformed. And the people that left Russia 20 years ago that run around telling other people how bad Russia is have no clue. And I really have no respect for those people. They're Russian on their passport, but that's as close to Russian as they have ever been. They left Russia 20 years ago and they just badmouth it and tell people how bad Russia is. They have no clue. Russia is not what it was 20 years ago. It is absolutely poles apart, and that's thanks to Vladimir Putin. It's that simple. You can break it down and say the government this and this policy and that. Of course, you can break everything down. But it simply boils down to Vladimir Putin has transformed this country. And, as I've said, I have no doubt that history will show, long after I'm dead, that he was one of the greatest leaders of our era. Without doubt. On a personal level, I don't know the guy. I would love to meet him. I would love to meet him. I think that would be a special thing, to be honest. Really do. I think that would be, yeah. I mean, I'm not fazed by meeting people. You know, I don't have a God complex when I meet people, you know, like celebrities and stuff. I don't go, oh my God. I did many, many years ago. I had that kind of mentality because it's a Western thing, isn't it? You meet somebody famous and you're like, oh my God. And I did that when I got into racing, probably 2009, in bike racing. And I met a few people that, you know, I considered to be, oh my gods. But they're just people. They're just skin and bone. And yeah, most of them are just normal, everyday people, the same as you or I. So I'm not, you know, I don't get starstruck, that's the word. I don't get starstruck. But I think I would be with Vladimir. And I tell a lie, I did get starstruck. I met Jack Burnicle. Most of you will never know who he was, or who he is, sorry. And I met Fast Freddy. I was starstruck when I met them, definitely. It was Fast Freddy Spencer. Meeting that man and shaking his hand. Yeah, he was a hero of mine. I think the only man, my memory's not so good, so forgive me, but the only man to win world championships. I can't remember. I'm going to embarrass myself, so I won't do it. But Fast Freddy Spencer. If you're of an older generation, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're into bikes. If you're not, you won't mean anything. But yeah, I was starstruck when I met him. I was starstruck a little bit when I met Jack Burnicle. But aside from that, I've met plenty of people, and I've not been starstruck because they're just average, you know, not average, but they're just, you know, people. But Vladimir Putin, I think I would be a bit starstruck. Yeah, because most of the time, if you go into a room, you're looking around at the room you're in and the people that are in it, and you're sort of thinking, yeah, you know, you can hold your own. But I think that's one man I would be way out of my depth. And I don't mind admitting it. But I don't think that he would make you feel like that. I think he would make you feel very, very normal and very down to earth. So yeah, I'd love to meet the guy. Absolutely love to. But yeah, especially given the fact that, you know, according to the West, he's 100-foot high titanium monster, capable of teleportation and control of all world events. If you would believe the West, Putin done it. So he must be a god, according to the West. I mean, they try and sort of say that he's some sort of monster, but I mean, he can, by definition, he can only be a god. According to Western media and governments, Putin is responsible for everything that happens in the world. Well, that's a god, isn't it? That's, by definition, that's God. Depending on which god, of course. About 3,000 of them, but, you know, as Ricky Gervais says, it just so happens, pure coincidence, that you're lucky to be born into a society that supports the right god. Interesting. Anyhow, I'm not going to start blasphemy. But yeah, Headhunters is a Russian website for jobs. Simodo, hopefully that answers your question. Howling Wolf, lovely fruit trees. Yeah, end of season now. And they've all been on strike this year. They haven't given us much fruit, these trees. Been very disappointing. This bloody peach tree last year had probably a couple of 100 peaches off of that. This year I had 3. And I don't mean 300, I mean 3. 3 type thing. They were lovely peaches, but 3 of them. Cherry tree probably had 50 cherries on it. Last year probably 1,000. Apricots, we never got a chance to find out what they were like, because one of our stupid cats thought it was a boxing gym, climbed up the tree and beat them all off with its paws like a speedball. Came out one morning and all the apricots were on the floor around the tree. Couldn't work out what had happened until I caught the cat trying to beat the last one off. Who were misses? Yeah, stupid cat. So we'll know next year, put a net round it so they can't get on it. But yeah, the trees have been on strike this year. Quite common apparently. I've developed a fondness for them and their company through a certain Russian girl that I met last month. Cool. Yeah. Where are you streaming from? It looks amazing. This is my back garden. It's in southern Russia. Just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa. A-N-A-P-A, Anapa. On the coast of the Black Sea. About 50 miles from Crimea, across the water from Turkey. Beautiful, beautiful part of the world. We're surrounded by vineyards. We've got rolling hills because we're on literally the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains. So we're on the start of the Caucasus Mountains, which go all the way down the south into Georgia. Maybe beyond, I don't know. Not very good on me geography. Yeah, so it's a very hilly, or start of a hilly area, so it very much reminds me of the South Downs in England. So we've got rolling hills all the way around us, which you can probably see just over the top of the fence, I don't know. There, you can just see the edge of the hills. Up there, look. So they're all around us. Like I say, it's the start of the Caucasus Mountains. And the further south you get, the more spiky and lumpy it gets. Have a look at my video from, I think it's titled Safari Park in Russia. That's from a couple of towns further down the coast called Gelendzhik. And the video is from a ski lift that I was on, going up the mountain. That particular mountain wasn't that high, it was only about 700 metres, I think, something like that. But again, you know, that's as the mountain ranges start. But an incredible view. So have a look at that video. And also, if you want to be blown away, please look at the latest video that I've uploaded. I think it's now titled, because I have to keep changing titles around to try and, you know, catch the algorithm. I think it's now titled, Why Aren't There Homeless Camps in Russian Parks? If you're wondering why that's the title, well, because it was a title on a video that went viral. So, yeah, I'm latching onto it and copying it. yeah, but that is the Japanese garden in Krasnodar. If you probably have a look at the last couple of weeks of videos, give you an insight into what's here in Russia. It's mind-blowing. Have a look at the Japanese garden. It will blow your mind. That looks Baratiki High. Your favourite swimming cat. It is. It is. I'll give you a close-up look. Ripple. Baratiki says hi. There you go. Home in Mother Russia. Right, Glyn. Hello, my friend. Guys, please check out that channel on YouTube. A Home in Mother Russia. Cracking guy called Glyn. I had him on my channel. We did like a bit of a podcasty, interviewy kind of thing. Bit of a fireside chat a few weeks ago. And he's building a house. Building a timber frame house. And it's very technical. You can tell, you know, I know nothing about building timber frame houses, but you can tell this guy does. And he points out all of the things that you should and shouldn't be doing. A lot of people will use a chainsaw, for example, to chop the wood. And Glyn points out exactly why you shouldn't do that. So really, really good channel. And as that progresses, you're going to be seeing him building a house out the ground. So check that channel out. And if nothing else, just because he's a great guy. So please subscribe to A Home in Mother Russia. Kieran, have you seen much in the way of graffiti? You don't have to go too far in England to see vandalism. I'll tell you where I notice graffiti the most. If anybody watches Alex Christoforou, when he's wandering around Cyprus, bloody hell, that is the graffiti capital of the world. Every single video there is graffiti in the background. Have a watch if you haven't noticed it. Have a watch. But graffiti here, I see some very, very old graffiti. You know, it's obviously been there 30 years. Old Soviet style graffiti, I guess. Occasionally, you know, on a very old building in an old village. But 99% of the time, no. But again, I'm talking about my experience. You know, I'm not talking about Moscow or St. Petersburg or Vladivostok or anywhere else. I'm just talking about my experience. And no, is the honest answer. I don't see the occasional bit, but it's been there for donkey's years. I don't see anything new. It's not really a thing, you know. People respect other people's property. You see it on derelict buildings, I guess, and abandoned buildings, but you won't see it on shop windows and shop fronts and stuff like that you do in the UK. Get off. Get off me. Oh. Found a praying mantis in the swimming pool the other day. It's in the skimmer, unfortunately. Obviously it landed. I didn't know them things could fly until I came to Russia. Oh, it's gone now. I fished it out and stuck it here, but it was dead. But the local wildlife has eaten it, or my stupid cat has. He's partial to eating praying mantis if he sees them. Bloody idiot. Call them land prawns. Yeah, anyhow. Simodo, UK's one big crime at the moment. Yeah, shoplifting, mobile phones, theft, unsafe streets is madness, and the police and laws are doing nothing to stop this. Policing is all wrong and he's correct. Yeah, well, that's one of the things I love about this country. There's none of that here. Doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. Pretty Kitty, Zeinzag, thank you. I've been called many things. Luke, yes, I feel safe here in the UK. A few isolated incidents exasperated by a sensationalist media doesn't deter me. Good for you, mate. For me, living in a seaside resort town in the UK, a week before we came here, a woman was raped in a park 100 metres from where we lived. We lived in a good area as well, at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And a gentleman was banged on the head and his watches were stolen. They're just the two incidents that were reported in the news. Obviously, I speak to a lot of people in the UK and they tell me a different story, mate. So, you know, like anything, is it right the way across the UK? Of course not. Are there areas in the UK that are great? absolutely. But yeah, open your eyes a little bit, Luke, if that's your impression. I think you might be living in a little bit of a bubble while the rest of the country suffers. Des, hi. Baguette Motorsport, oh, like that. Looks beautiful. Huge credit to you both. Thank you. It's very kind. Long way from finished. But we've got intentions to move to a smaller property. So we built it for the three of us and the cats. But one of us has this stupid idea about leaving and going to university or college. So now all of a sudden it's just going to be me and the wife rattling around in there, so it's a bit too big for our purposes. So we're going to move to a smaller dwelling, something like that, next door, single story. That's the plan at some point, but it's, you know, whenever. It's no hurry, don't care. It's not like it's a bad place to live, is it really? Not bad. Signs like tough tree, yeah, that thing is bulletproof. I respect Putin myself, yeah. President VVP is the GOAT, yeah. Baratiki, yeah. I don't know about the GOAT. I don't know if he's the greatest of all time, but he's certainly on the short list, in my view. I think people that have a different view are just sort of poisoned with Western media. Don't really know anything themselves, do they? I like Putin, far better leadership than anything that the UK has had. Yeah. Don't disagree with you, Alex. Kieran, if you had a good friend over there who told you he is going to go to live in Peckham, southeast London, Del Boy, and asked you what you can expect when he gets there, how would you answer? Yellow freewheelers, Rodney. How would I answer? I'd tell them, if I had a friend from Russia that had never been to the UK and they were going to Peckham, I would say, be prepared for a shock, because most Russians hold England in high regard, believe it or not. They think it's a kind of a magical place, I suppose, and I think that's the Western media for decades has given them that impression. You know, going back to Soviet times when times were probably hard here and the TVs were full of how wonderful America is and how wonderful England is, and that's the impression they have because they haven't been there. If you go to the UK as a tourist, you'll love it. But if you go there to live in somewhere like Peckham, you are going to be in for a massive shock. Massive shock. And that's the thing, you know. Yeah, Russians do hold England in high regard, but their vision of Russia is through rose-tinted goggles, unfortunately. And that's not a criticism of the Russian people. It's just that's the narrative that they've been given. And it's not the reality for most people that live in Britain. You know, 1% live a very comfortable life. And, you know, good luck to them. We've got friends that live a very, very, very comfortable life. But they've worked for it, so fair play. But that's not the norm. That is absolutely not the norm. Most people are struggling to pay bills day to day, struggling to keep their head above water. That's the reality. And the reality is the urban areas are, well, there's an awful lot of no-go areas in the UK. That's fact. I don't, you know, people are going to disagree with it, but I know that before I even had anything to do with Russia. You know, I drive through Moss Side on a Saturday. Tell me if it's a good area to be in. Last time I drove through Moss Side was by accident. I came out of Chadderton and took a wrong turn and ended up driving through Moss Side. And I was in a big KTM racing truck. And as I approached the set of traffic lights, because the sat-nav had took us the wrong way by about 100 metres, you know how that sat-nav thing happens sometimes. It tells you to turn left, and you could have gone right, but it's 100 metres shorter, so it says left. And if you don't know the area, that's what you do. And that was this situation. And we came up to a set of traffic lights, and I was driving. And there were, well, what we can call hood rats, hoodies, yardies, your roadmen, in, you know, all dressed in black tracksuits and hoodies, stood by the roundabout, pointing at us. It's fair enough. Big yellow, orange and black lorry with KTM Racing written on the side of it. That was on the right hand side. On the left hand side, on the side street, this is a Saturday morning about 10 o'clock. On the left hand side, on the side street, there was a car on its roof in the middle of the road on fire. It wasn't a crash, just some unsavoury types had decided to upend this car, flip it in at the middle of the road and set it on fire. That was a Saturday morning about 10 o'clock. I can tell you one thing, I ain't seen that in Russia. So yeah, you might have an opinion that your particular area of the UK is lovely, and it might be, but there are an awful lot of areas that ain't, and I haven't found that in Russia. So yeah, Kieran, I hope that answers your question. I wouldn't be going to Peckham, only to look for Del Boy, see if we can have a pint down on Nag's Head, see if Mike's still about, talk to Trigger. Boise, right then, Del Boy. Rollo Voyne, I wasn't expecting to hear that. I work for rich people maintaining their homes. I mean multimillionaire types. 100% of them believe Putin is crazy and wants to march his armies across Europe. Yeah, well, of course they do. They're rich, so they're part of that class. They've bought into that narrative because it feeds them. That's what you'll find. The rich upper class, they have bought into the narrative Russia bad. Third world country. UK is some kind of great superpower. Why? Because it's treated them very well and it's made them very wealthy. So of course they think everything's wonderful. Of course they think Russia's bad, because the media tells them to. And they've made lots of money in the UK. And that's what I'm saying. These people don't really understand the reality. They don't live in the world that most of us do. They live in a world of nice cars, nice houses, nice restaurants, sometimes second and third homes. That's their world. That's not the world that most people live in. Yeah, England flag, TW, good on you. Putin is badass. Patch, lol. Intelligent statement, Patch. Rollo, I want peace in Europe. I mean the continent of Europe. I want cheap energy, healthy trade, and to see my European cousins east of St. Petersburg. Rollo, it's a lovely want and a lovely wish. Unfortunately, it's done. Europe sealed its fate the other day with the Power of Siberia 2 contract, if you want to call it a contract, being agreed. It's a, it's a death of 1,000 cuts, unfortunately, and that's probably the 999th cut. There is no such thing as cheap energy in Europe anymore. That is over. 2 or 3 years' time, when that Power to Siberia 2 pipeline opens, that is game over, because all of the gas that used to go to the UK and across Europe will be going east. And there won't be any coming back from it, because ultimately, if you're a business and you get a new trading partner that's better than your previous trading partner, and by that I mean your new trading partner says, yeah, I'm happy to pay the market price, whereas your previous trading partner is trying to tell you how much you're going to charge for your resource. It's exactly what the West does. We're going to cap Russian gas and oil, are you? You're going to put a price cap on it, are you? You're going to tell Russia what they're going to charge for it, are you? Okay. A bit like going into Sainsbury's and saying, you'll go for bread here. You're going to charge 20 pence for that. I'm going to pay you 20 pence for it. And Sainsbury's going, oh, okay, that seems reasonable. Same scenario. But no, once that's open, that's it. It never comes back to Europe. That will never come back. So you have the US and your LNG, liquefied natural gas? It gets frozen to a point of a liquid and then loaded up on big ships with big round spheres on them, sent across the ocean. That sounds environmentally friendly, doesn't it, as opposed to a pipeline? Everybody running around complaining about the environment when the pipeline blew up. Not worrying about the big ships shipping the LNG though, are they? Wonder why that is. Well, because somebody different is earning the money from it, that's why. So, yeah, these days are gone, mate. There is going to be no such thing as cheap energy until you get a government in Western countries that goes, yeah, this was a huge mistake by previous administrations, and we need to start dialogue with the Russians, and we need to shut our mouths, eat a bit of humble pie, apologise for the previous administration, and try and see if we can get deals done. Until that happens, there's no more cheap energy in the US, in the West. And the disturbing thing is, what I've just said won't happen. Because unfortunately, the ancestors of these leaders aren't pleasant people, which rubs off on them. Like crazy Mertz. Look at his father and his grandfather, if you don't believe me. See who they were. Do you support your dad? Would you support your dad and his beliefs? I know I would have done. I killed for my dad. Most amazing man I ever met. Destroyed me when he died. So, you know, I don't necessarily blame Mertz. Loves his dad, I guess, and his granddad. But they weren't pleasant people. Go and look them up. And that's just one example. My apple's fed really well. Okay. Not entirely sure what you mean there, Rollo, but okay. Oh, AA. Is that Alcoholics Arsehole? Dos Vidania. Wish England was like that here. We are culturally divided. Yes, that was the plan. Multicultural has never worked due to certain cultures not wanting to integrate at all. We are very kind and have been taken advantage of. It's all by design, Simodo. If you get people from different races, creeds, colours and religions and force them to live together against their wishes, you are going to get conflict. And England is a small country, so when you cram all of these people into these cities, you're going to get conflict. You know, there are religious sects, like Indian sects, and I don't know anything about it, but you know, the Sikhs and the Hindus and all of this kind of thing, that just literally hate each other based on the religion. That's just one example. And they will not ever, ever live together. So when you get those people and you force them to live together, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to fight. And that's what happens on a daily basis. And that's just one example. If you've got a country that breeds a culture of anarchy and hatred, then that's what you're going to grow. You reap what you sow. Russia, two advantages. One, biggest country in the world, so everybody's not crammed together. So people can have their own space. And two, they don't put up with it. They won't put up with that bullshit. You start fighting somebody in Russia, yeah, ain't going to end well. Rollo, Miss Lithuania. We couldn't afford to go there this summer. We did send our children to grandma there, though. Yeah. Good luck with that, mate. Graffiti in Eastern Europe. Depeche Mode, I guess, and old. IDTV. Dear, oh dear. You got a brain, haven't you? It's a shame you don't use it. Is that your brain, or are you running it in for an idiot? Or, what's the other one? If brains were made of rubber, you wouldn't have enough rubber to make a one-legged budgie a flip-flop. Or, when God was giving out brains, you got in the queue and you thought it was for milkshake, so you asked for extra thick. There you go. Just humoured you for a minute. And now, Dos Vidania. MUFC, hi mate, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Why are you here, IDE TV? He's not, he's gone. He tried to cope, but I don't think he can. Don Arnold, can you get gas? Yeah, of course I can. How much do you want? People need to learn history before trying to know everything. I agree with that. Baratiki, that's savage. Eleanor, lovely and sunny weather. Yeah, always. 300 days a year of this stuff. Same climate as the south of France, apparently. Same parallel. Oh yeah, lovely weather here. Freedom is wonderful. You're right, Don. Exactly what I've got here. This is why, another reason why I love it. There's many reasons why I love it here. But yeah, exactly that. I have the freedom to be able to drive into the forest and camp for a few days. You know, have a barbecue without the fun police turning up and saying that I can't have a naked flame in the forest and, you know, you're not allowed to camp here because the government owns the land. Or drive down onto the beach and do the same. Again, without the fun police turning up and saying I can't do that. Yeah. Alex, wish I were young enough to move to Russia. Well, I know somebody that's 78 that is in the process of moving to Russia. So I don't think it's an age thing, mate. It's a state of mind. I'm no spring chicken. Frank, peach tree. Yes, it is. Love peaches. Well, you need to have a Napa peaches. Peaches from this region are otherworldly. And I know I sound like a scratch record. Everything's wonderful, everything's great, everything's wonderful, everything's great. It is for me. What can I say? You know, should I lie? Oh, the fruit's terrible. Oh, you don't eat the fruit here, it's horrendous. That's a lie. Oh, gas prices here are horrendous. You can't afford to pay your gas bill. That's a lie. Electricity is absolutely horrendous. You can't afford to pay it. You know, nobody uses electricity. Can't have air conditioning. That's a lie. So what am I supposed to do? I know I sound pro-Russia, and you know what? Yeah, I am. How would I be any other way? When you come to a country where everything's better, how are you going to see it any other way? I can't. I'm just going to say, sorry, I'm going to flip this around. I'm just going to say how I see it. I'm just going to say how I live my life. And I know it sounds to some people, oh, you're always saying how wonderful things are. I mean, Sam did a video about it recently, you know, and, you know, oh, people are saying that Russia's wonderful when it's not, you know, in certain areas and it's that. I never do that. I say how I feel and how Russia is for me. It's better. What can I do? The peaches here. I was never a peach eater until I came here. You know, you can twist that any which way you want if you want to be a bit sick and perverted, but you get my drift. It wasn't my preferred fruit. It wasn't my fruit of choice. You know, I wasn't really into fruit so much in the UK. It's all a bit bland, you know. Bananas, pears at a certain time of year. Apples, right. You know, it's not really for me, you know, I was never a fruit and veg person because I just found the flavours a bit bland, not really that interesting. Oh my God, come in here, having peaches, you know, the wife said, oh, we've got to get peaches. I'm like, and the first time I had one, it just melted in my hand, literally just holding it, and just, you can suck it. You don't have to bite it, you just, like this, and it just, juice is just pouring down your hand. Just incredible, absolutely incredible. And that's the reality, that's you know, that's the reality. So, yeah, I'm gonna say, oh, it's amazing. Believe me, if something's crap, I'll tell you what's crap. The price of cars, that's crap. Don't like the price of cars, they're expensive. End of. My car, brand new, it's a Chinese car, was 45 grand, UK money. 40 grand. 40 grand? Yeah, 40 grand UK money. Had it been in Japan or China, it'd have been, I think, 27 grand. So yes, it pisses me off that they're a lot of money. But they're all expensive. And do you know what that means? Second-hand values maintain. So all the second-hand values are good. So whilst you get absolutely rogered when you buy a car, you get your money back when you sell it. Case in point, our car we had for 18 months and we got back very nearly what we paid for it. We bought it from a dealer and then we part X'd it for the new one, and we pretty much got back what we paid for it. 18 months later, 30,000 kilometres on it, bald tyres, bit of damage. So yes, there's always a positive, it's always a bit of yin and yang. What else don't I like about Russia? There's nothing I don't like. You know, you can say that the gas pipes above ground are ugly, and I've said that before, but when your gas bill is 90 pence, I'll put up with ugly. Quite happy with ugly, to be honest, for 90 pence a month. You can paint them pink with green spots if you want. The roads around, like in the villages, the you know, off the main roads. So the main roads through the village are all tarmac, of course. New roads around here, actually. But like the residential roads, not ours is tarmac as well, but some of them are just what we call type 1. You know, they're just unmade, uneven roads. Yeah. And when you first come here, you go, oh my God, because you're used to a tarmac society, everything's tarmacked. So when you first come here, you're like, oh my God. But when you put your big boy pants on and you open your eyes and you start, you know, realising that there's a lot of advantages for that kind of thing. There's no cost for maintaining it for a start. So they ain't digging it up and filling it back in every week and charging the taxpayer a load of money. There's always yin and yang. So even the things that you as a Westerner coming to Russia for the first time might think are bad, you're going to quickly realise, you know, if you've got an open mind, that they're not. So yeah, I know I sound like a scratch record. Russia, wonderful. But what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to tell you guys? Am I supposed to lie to you, like, you know, the bald and bankrupts of the world, and make up fabrication and bullshit? And that other clown whose name begins with R, you know, for clicks? Not happening. Because I don't care about YouTube revenue at all. Not for 1 second. Never been about YouTube revenue. So yeah, I don't care about, you know, viral videos and dramatic headlines and, you know, trying to make something, you know, and just to get clicks. Not interested. I'll just turn the camera on, I'll do a live stream and answer your questions and tell you the truth. And it's, you know, based on my own experience. I can't tell you what's happening in Moscow at the moment. I ain't there. Same as if you ain't in London, you don't know what London's about, other than what you see on the news. So, you know, I can only tell you how I find the area that I live in, the people, the food, the culture, the society. Yeah, and for me, everything's better here. So I know, you know, that goes against the grain, but it is what it is. Oh God, let's get to the fuel shortages crap. Any comment on fuel shortages now hitting Moscow? Yeah, it's all a load of Western media bullshit. That's my comment. It's absolute fabrication and lies. And as usual, it's post a video, give you the headlines of the video, and, you know, how many headlines have you seen over the last 3 or 4 years that have actually been proved to be a load of bullshit? 99% of them, probably. It's just another one. You know, empty shelves in the supermarkets in Russia. Bullshit. Bank runs, people queuing, the banks have run out of money. Bullshit. Fuel shortages. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's lies. It's just crap. So that's how I feel about it. It's just more Western media bullshit. Alex, it's only too late when you're dead. You can still move. Just do it. There you go, Baratiki. You're absolutely right. Yes, Alex, move to Russia and sign a contract sending you to the front. Yeah, see, look, there's another, his name, look, WeGaz 22. 22, is that how high you are, or is that your intellect? WeGaz. Dos Vidania. All the held for review stuff, you might not see it, but, you know, like the abuse and stuff, you guys might be reading it. I'm not, because YouTube just censors it to me. It might censor it to everyone, but it censors it to me, and it gives me the option to view it, to click on the message and view it. I can't be asked. I've got better things to do. Rather speak to sensible people like you guys than the clowns. Wishful thinking, Baratiki. I have neither cash nor health. Alex, your health will improve if you come here. Here we go again. Oh, Chris is off again. Russia better. Go and look at my YouTube video about healthcare. I left the UK needing surgery. Okay, very briefly. I had surgery on my neck, a lump in my neck in 2012. So the lump the size of a pea, which grew over time, over a few months, got bigger and bigger. And I was in and out of the hospital, test after test after test for a year. Oh, not really sure. Well, we'll do another test. A month later, oh, can you come in? We want to review the results. And 2 months later, you do another test. 2 months later, you know, that kind of thing. I was in and out for a year. And I finally went in on December 2012, I think it was. Christmas Eve. See the consultant for yet another test results conversation. And the consultant said, what are you doing now? I said, well, it's Christmas Eve. I'm doing what all blokes do on Christmas Eve. Christmas shopping. It's obvious. And he went, yeah, no, I need you to go along to the ward and book in for pre-surgery. I'm like, sorry, what? And he said, yeah, that in your neck, we need that out. Right. So off I toddle, get booked in for surgery. Went in for surgery in 3rd week of January, I think. And what was supposed to be a ½ inch incision in my neck ended up being 4 inches. Can't see it. It was very neat, lovely job, but in here. I've got photos if you ever want to see them. I'll post them on my Telegram group. It's not a pretty sight. I look like a dead person with a tube coming out of my neck. And then they came back with a vengeance. And so back into that NHS system I went for 2 years. Same thing. Tests, x-rays, scans, blah, blah, blah. Got to the same conclusion. They decided that there was lumps that needed removing, and the only thing that they were debating was whether it was going to be done in 1 surgery or 2, because it would be basically cutting my head off, sort of a cut from here right the way around to here, and, you know, peeling me open kind of thing to remove it. And they were just deciding whether the risk of that, and I was told of the risk, you know, I may never speak again was one of the things that they said, which some of you might think is great. But that was one of the things that I had to prepare myself for, the fact that I may never speak again. I don't know how you prepare yourself for that. You may never speak to your children again, other than writing it down on a piece of paper. I don't know, how do you wrap your head around that? And that was one of the things that they casually threw into the mix. And that was the state that I was at when I left the UK. That's where I was, waiting for a final decision to have either 1 surgery or 2 separate surgeries. And I left the UK and came to Russia, and my wife took me to a Russian doctor, which blew my mind, because we went the same day. There was none of this, make an appointment, see you in 2 months. No, just go to the doctors the same day if you want to. If I want to go to the doctors now, I'll just ring up and say, can I come to the doctors? And I'll just toddle off down to the doctors this afternoon. Same with scans, you know, CAT scans, CT scans, topographies, any of that. If I want that, I'll get it done the same day. So anyhow, came to Russia, went and saw the local doctor. He was absolutely horrified and said, how on earth has this happened? What treatment are you on? I said, treatment? I'm not on any treatment. I'm scheduled for surgery. And he just put his head in his hands. He was just absolutely shocked. He said, are they barbarians? What on earth? He said, I've never seen blood, because he did a scan there and then, you know, an ultrasound. And he said, I've never seen lumps this big in somebody's neck. We don't have this here. We treat it. And I'm like, right. He said, why aren't you being treated for it? And I said, because they told me there isn't any treatment, it's surgery. And he was just shocked. And he said, well, look, I don't know. He said, I'm going to prescribe a course of treatment that we would normally do. I don't know if it's going to work, because honestly, I've never seen a case this big, you know, with lumps this big. And to give you an idea, it got to a point where I couldn't breathe. If I put my head down onto my chest, I couldn't breathe. That's how big the lumps were. So yeah, it was, you know, it's pretty grim, I guess. And he put me on the course of pills. Here I am, 3 years later, no surgery. I breathe fine. So I'll tell you about Russian healthcare. So Alex, if you want to improve your health, go to Russia. Where in Russia? Southern Russia, mate. Krasnodarsky Krai region, just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa. ANAP. maps. You'll see we're on the coast of the Black Sea, about 50 miles from Crimea. Kieran, I have this image in my head of a Russian gentleman going to live in a small apartment they have already paid for in Peckham, expecting to be beautiful and tranquil. You've got a vivid imagination. MUFC, I love Only Fools and Horses. A Touch of Glass is my best episode. What's yours if you got one? They're all great time. Yeah, they're all great time. It's like the two Ronnies, isn't it? You know, and the Monty Python, Monty Python, the Dead Parrot sketch, legendary. The two Ronnies, Four Candles, legendary. Only Fools and Horses, Del Boy going to lean on the bar, oops, Trigger's broom, classic, isn't it? The Chandeliers, all of them, just classics, absolute classics. Loads of messages there for review. Lots of stuff being deleted. Obviously YouTube's getting at some of these, I'm guessing. We have lots of natural gas. Cool. Not sure who's we, but okay. Looks lovely. Thanks, sweetheart. 100 mine tune. Okay, Baratiki. Now planning to harvest people's farms for the heat season in the EU this year. Well, they're going to have to come up with a plan because they ain't buying Russian energy, that's for sure. NAFO's in the chat, yeah, big goons, aren't they? Got a little doggy, haven't they? Got a little doggy. It's their little symbol. Oh, little cute little doggy. And they're all called fellas. What fellas? Sounds like fellas. Starts with W. Sochi is Armenian capital. Okay. Been to Sochi, I thought it was lovely. Baratiki. Yes, Alex. 77th Brigade. IDTV banned in 3-2. Well, yeah, he was gone. I'm a long way behind with this chat, aren't I? Hello from Australia. Jar, hi. Simodo. Religion causing so many wars and issues. The government must know this. I used to think that. I used to think religion was the root of all evil, but it's just a tool that's manipulated. Sayonara. Yep, Dos Vidania. Alex Wegaz. Yeah, he's gone. No point talking about him. Europe is toothless. Yeah. Europe is becoming a Baltic state, turning into a yapping chihuahua. Shut up. Michael Cooper, no idea. Simodo, are there takeaways there? Can you get a Chinese Indian meal there, etc.? Right, so we've got a Chinese takeaway in a Napa. Haven't discovered an Indian one yet, but you can buy all the Indian spices and sauces and various bits and bobs in Ozon, which is a cross between eBay and Amazon. So you can get it delivered, but where we are, I mean in Moscow definitely there will be, I'm absolutely certain of it, but in our region down here in the south I haven't seen any yet, which is a shame because I like a nice nice curry. Alex, Viva Bricks, at least it looks fair, doesn't it? Got to say that about bricks. Good morning. Oh, Jordan, it was not hard at all. Both physically and spiritually, it was not hard. Very nice, in fact. Everything peachy. Yeah, brother. Have you ever been to Diss in Norfolk? Yes, but I don't remember it. But that's Norfolk for you. You kind of not remember it. Best thing about Norfolk for me is the one thing that if you're from Norfolk you'll hate because it's the tourist thing, and that's the Norfolk Broads. And everybody goes, oh yeah, it's more to Norfolk than the Norfolk Broads. Yeah, I get that, but it's a lovely thing, that. All lots and lots of ponds and lakes interlinked. And it's great to go and hire a boat for a week. One of my best memories ever was that. My dad took me there when I was a kid. And my dad hired this big boat. And yeah, he hired the wrong boat and he admitted that as soon as he got it. Because the steering wheel was at the front of this 40-foot long boat. And the rudder was at the back, as you can imagine. So you consequently go down the river like this. your arse end flapping about everywhere because you've got no sense of what's going on behind you. So if you do go and hire a boat, get a mid-cockpit or aft cockpit. There you go, little boating tip for you. But yeah, Norfolk Broads were wonderful. Let's move that out of the way. What are you doing, Rios? There's another one, look. Sticking his head. What are you doing? Is he? Oh, he's coming up through there, is he? Righto. You going for a sleep, are you, mate? Yes, Daddy. Follows me around like a little doggy, don't you? He came to us and he sat in the palm of my hand. He was that small. He was 2 weeks old when we had him. Fed him with a syringe every 2 hours. So, yeah, he kind of looks at me as Dad, I think. That's it, he's going for a sleep now. And yeah. Cat's life, isn't it? Isn't it, Rios? Hmm? Get off my house, bastard. Right, I'm going to do this for a minute. Which is sit you guys down. Just so I can go and get the charger. So go and get this here. Because I want to catch up with the chat before I say goodbye. Because if you guys take the time to write something, I should take the time to reply to it. Yes, of course, it's crap. There we go. That's a bit better. So yes, Rubicon, I have been to this in Norfolk. I don't remember it. Pretty flat, Norfolk, isn't it? The flatlands, the fens, isn't it? Off to work now. Play nicely, everyone. Alex, yes, indeed. Michael Cooper, don't know. Andy, the peaches are better. Yep. Natalia, Simona, not sure about an Napa, but here in St. Petersburg, yes, I have a Chinese and an Indian. Cafes 600 metres from my apartment block, 20 metres from each other. Oh, Natalia, killing me now. But yeah, that's what I mean, you know, we're down here in the south, so we're a bit more out in the sticks. KC, yeah, not doing great, is he? Ruined the monarchy, isn't he? Let's face it. I think, you know, rightly or wrongly, most people supported the Queen. But do you know anybody that supports Charles? I don't know. I hope you all get your countries back. I think September the 13th will be an interesting day. It will either be a very, very, very big statement or it will be the largest flop in history. Let's wait and see. Is the immigration problem okay in UK? Because I saw the news. That don't make any sense. Is the immigration problem okay? Well, I guess the answer to that would be no. Which is hence September the 13th. Have a look for that. Raise the Flag Day, I think they call it. Andy McDonald, don't believe a word. Putin, enough said. Lisa Kenyon, I'm subscribed. Thank you. Thank you, appreciate that. Simoda, immigration is horrendous in the UK. We're overcrowded and government are overspending, keeping them here in hotels everywhere. Yeah, they're spending your, you know, it's theft, isn't it? They take money that you have no choice about. Half of the money you earn goes to the government and it's supposed to be distributed to benefit you, not to enrich elitists and government officials. That's not what it's for. It's not their money. It's supposed to be to improve your quality of life. That's what the taxes are for. Is your quality of life improving? Your taxes gone down because it hasn't? No. So your taxes go up, your life gets worse. It's theft. Sean. Yeah, only that it takes me too long to catch up with the chat and deal with Muppets like you. That's my learning difficulty. Dos vidania. Yeah, reflection, whatever. Everything is a lie. We are trapped. Okay, speak for yourself. Well, don't what they say is, kids. It's getting hard in the UK, but we have an orange clown to thank for that. Well, you're going to have Orange Clown 2.0 soon, because Farage will be your next Prime Minister, or the UK's next Prime Minister. And he will be the Orange Man 2.0. Just without the arrogance, believe it or not. Once Farage is in power, he is going to be scared of his own shadow. He's going to be a rabbit in the headlights, and the first thing he will do is run off to the US for a meeting with Donald Trump. Please, Mr. Trump, what shall I do now that I've got the power? I don't know what to do. I didn't think they'd vote for me, but they have. Oh, shit. That's your reality. Oh, electric blue. And gone. Rollo, my mistress is in Moscow right now. No shortages reported. Correct. There aren't any. That's the thing. It's Western media. It's lies. Reflection. Okay, well, reflection. You're just very rude. Rude. Dos Vidania. Baratiki. No eggs. Yeah, that was another one. Oh, no potatoes is the latest one as well, isn't it? We haven't got any potatoes. Let me just... Yeah, apparently we haven't got any of these things at the moment. Taters. That's the latest one, isn't it? Eggs, that was a little while ago. Now it's potatoes. Russia hasn't got any potatoes. There's a potato shortage. Yeah, right. We just learned that the US has been importing eggs from Russia this year. Oh, there you go. Odessa, where are the Ukrainian children kidnapped by the Russians? No idea is the honest answer, because there aren't any. So it's difficult to tell you where something is that doesn't exist. I can tell you that just in my town alone, Anapa, they took in 2,000 refugees from Ukraine, gave them housing, gave them, I think, something like 5 million rubles each to contribute to their housing costs so they could buy an apartment. You know, you're not going to put them up in a, 4-bedroom detached house with 20 sotka of land. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out. But I think they were given about 5 million rubles each to buy an apartment, which will buy you an apartment in Anapa. Yeah. So, again, Western media, and you can't even spell your name properly, are a muppet. So, goodbye. It's easy to spot a troll and a shill, because they just cannot even word a sentence. You know, when they're trying to make a statement and word it in a way that it doesn't look like a statement, they still can't do it. They're just idiots. James Patrick, it's not obvious. Don't know. You plonker. Luke Brock. Sign language, probably. Yeah, that's where I was heading. I'm a long way behind this chat, aren't I? God, I've got to catch up. Right. That's it. Stop me going on a rant. I've got to catch up with this chat. NHS is terrible compared to all the medical services I come across in other countries. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but compared to what I've experienced here, yeah, shockingly bad. Well, case in point, I'm 3 years down the road and I haven't had surgery. That in the UK, I would definitely have had surgery by now. And, how would that have ended up? I don't know. Don't bother with the held for review messages. I can't be asked. Crime Boss, hello. Is this the channel where Russians celebrate victory? Yeah, if you just lose your thing. Yeah, I mean, what else do you do with victory? You celebrate it, I suppose, don't you? Anyhow, Dos Vidania. Not really a boss, are you? Although I would say you probably were a boss. Look up in the Oxford Dictionary the definition of the word boss. One of the definitions is knob or stump. Quite apt for you, I guess. Yeah. Nelly, greetings from Murmansk. Dickhead crime boss, yeah. Dos for Daniel Dim, didn't we? Hello, goodbye. So do you follow Putin? No, I'll be honest, I don't. The main reason is that he's usually in Moscow, and that's like 2,000 kilometres away. So, you know, it's like a 40-hour train journey. I mean, although the airport in the next town has opened up recently, Gelendzhik, so I can get on a 4-hour plane, fly to Moscow, and then follow him around, I guess. But I guess he's pretty busy, probably got things to do, and I am as well, you know, talking to you lot. So no, I don't follow him around. He's got people for that. So your name's good. Hello and goodbye. IDTV back as crime boss, yeah, was. Let's see the view. Oh, what? You don't want to see me? Oh, right. It's just mean, isn't it? Simodo, glad your lumps are sorted now. Russia's helped you in many ways. It has, I've got to say that. We're short-sighted and judgmental on other countries. I suppose the only was of finding out the truth is great. Yeah, guys, that's what I say to everybody. Just don't listen to one person. Don't just come on and listen to me. I'm a nobody. I'm just a bloke. I'm a, you know, a UK citizen. I've come from the UK to Russia. I'll just tell you, you know, what my life's been like and what my life is like. But what I will say, oh my God, Luna, another one of our cats, idiot. What I will say is, just move that potato into the light there so you can see it. Oh, a bit of dirt on it. Look. Get that out. That side's a bit better, isn't it? There we go. Old potato. Let's keep him in the light. See if he grows. Yeah, just do independent research. Do not go to mainstream media. Don't go to BBC, CNN, Fox News, any of the other bullshit, Sky News, any of that crap. You know, don't read newspapers like The Guardian and The Telegraph and all of that other shit. It's just shit. It's just lies. It's bullshit. You know, it's just nonsense. The headlines that I've seen over the last few years have just been, well, beyond all comprehension. I saw there was a lorry hijacked in the UK a few months ago. It was full of cheese and Putin done it. I'm not joking. I promise you that's the truth. That was the story, basically. That Putin was responsible for this cheese lorry being hijacked, and there was going to be a cheese shortage because of it. And it was Putin's fault. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. I promise you that's the truth. And that's just one example. But yeah, please, just do some independent research. Don't listen to these clowns. Kieran, I just want to say a big thank you because you've dispelled so many things I was quietly confident I knew about Russia. I do not like to be bullshitted by media outlets. No, you know. Thank you for having your eyes open, Kieran. That's the biggest thing. And that's what this channel is. It's not a propaganda channel. It's not about trying to tell you to think one way or the other. What I'm telling you to do is do your own research. That's what I'm telling you to do. Spend a bit of time. That's what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm telling you to get information and make an informed decision. That's what I'm telling you to do. And that's all I'm doing. I'm providing you with information. What you do with that is entirely up to you. How you take it, whether you believe me or not, that's up to you. But the camera doesn't lie. You're looking at my swimming pool in southern Russia at the moment. So, you know, just that alone, and the blue skies, and the potato, just that alone, based on what you're told about Russia, if you don't know Russia, just that alone should make you go, hello, that's not what I was expecting. Does that not spark your curiosity? Does that not make you think, excuse me, does that not make you think, didn't think Russia was like that. That's not what I was told. If it does, great. I want you to question. Question the narrative. Don't just suck it up. Don't be sheep. How much of the houses in the area you're living in? JCA, how much of the houses in the area you're living in? Varies, doesn't it, mate? I mean, the little house next door to us, single story, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, with 600 metres of land. is about 10 million rubles, which is about 100 grand, roughly, UK money. The house I'm in now is 21 million rubles. It's about 200 grand. But, you know, it varies. Region to region, town to town, district to district, varies. I never imagined Russia being so sunny. Gary, nail on the head. That's exactly why I do this. Not to show weather, but just for exactly that. People don't. They always imagine it to be dull and grey for whatever reason. Yeah, I have a saying, Gary. Russia is not just, or not only, snow, bears, gangsters, vodka, horse and cart. There's more to Russia than that. That's what the West makes you believe. That Russia is snow, bears, gangsters, vodka, and a horse and cart society. That's what the West tells you. Yeah? Well, can you see any snow? No. They don't tell you this. They don't tell you about our beach, 40 kilometres of sandy beach we have here in the Napa. They don't tell you stuff like that because it doesn't fit the narrative. They want you to believe that it's just monotone, grey, and it's doom and gloom and bleak. Well, it couldn't be further from the truth. I live in a vineyard region, wine region. I'm surrounded by vineyards. I live at the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains. There's fresh fruit and veg every day grown locally. Like I say, we've got 40 kilometres of sandy beach. You go into the sea here and you've got dolphins swimming around your legs. And I'm not joking, seriously. And that's quite an experience. If you've only ever seen a dolphin on, you know, on YouTube or, you know, in an aquarium, going and seeing them in their natural environment is quite a thing. Is quite an experience. A lot of people, you know, go and swim with the dolphins. They say it's an otherworldly experience. It is. But yes, Gary, this, you know, it's the purpose of my, you know, my channel really is just to show people a side of Russia that they probably haven't seen before. You know, everybody, you ask anybody about Russia and they say Moscow or St. Petersburg. That's pretty much most people's understanding of Russia. Well, this is Russia. Temperature today about, I think a high is about 30 degrees today. Baratiki, the cats have grown nicely. Yeah, they have. Yeah, we don't notice it because we live with them, obviously. But yeah, you're right. Michelle, looks beautiful there. Are you still moving house? If the house sells, we'll move. But, you know, it's actually not for sale with any agents or anything. It's not listed anywhere. So probably no chance of it selling at the moment. But we're not, you know, we're not in any hurry. The market's very stagnant at the moment here in this particular area for a couple of reasons. So, yeah, we'll wait till next year probably. Simodo, total insight in at Russia. People need to open their eyes. Yeah, people just need to be capable of critical thought and take information from all sorts of places and form their own opinion based on information, not based on what they're told. Just look, open your eyes. Live in Russia or live in Russia? Both, yes. Tribite, free Palestine, I agree. Those potatoes are fake. yeah, it's a movie set. It's not a real potato. It's not a real one, look. It's a little one. Should have got a big one, shouldn't I? USSR, yeah, that went a long time ago, but okay. Free Palestine, in Kablu, I agree. Don't know why you're saying he's a knob. Good luck for you living here. I don't need luck, mate. Definitely don't need luck for living here. It's very nice. Netanyahu is a war criminal and should be locked up. I agree. True statement. Been recognised by the ICC, isn't it, that he's a war criminal? What country has just recognised Palestine? I think it's Belgium, isn't it? Just recognised Palestine as a state. But until the corrupt politicians in the US are dealt with and they stop supporting that evil regime, or something happens to that monster, it's going to continue, and that's a terrible thing. I sound like I'm from Southampton. No, mate. No. I was born in Devon. My family's from the East End of London. Molecule Mind, no idea. Don't know what that is. MUFC, take care all. See you. Thank you, mate. Have a good one. Simoda, I've subscribed. Thank you. Nice day to watch missiles fly past. No, not seen one. But according to the West, I'm in a war zone dodging bullets and missiles. Hence your comment. But you're obviously somebody that just reads Western narrative, I guess. No. No, sorry. It's legal theft. That's why Labour is hated. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm sure Farage will do his best for the people. I ain't. We all know running a country is the most difficult job ever. Feel he would be better. That's the thing. I don't think he's going to do the best for the people. I think he's going to end up in a position that he has no comprehension of. And the position is going to be bigger than him. And he's not going to know what to do. And then he's just going to take advice from the wrong people. And I think you get much of a muchness with Farage. If Farage cuts taxes, pulls in all foreign aid spending, all of this nonsense going to Ukraine, if he cuts all of that, you might be on a step to the right path. But we'll see. Yeah, there you go. YouTube chat Muppet. Thanks to shambles of Labour and Conservatives. Yeah. Then the show puts a statue of himself on the table. Oh, Molecule Mind. Yeah, do you know what? You've got the right name, haven't you? Molecule Mind. Yep. Single cell amoeba. Yeah, no, fishing about the flyover. No, I didn't really see it reported on. It was a bit of a nothing. You know, so what kind of thing. You know, oh, whoop-de-doo, you fly some planes over. Well, Russia's got a few, mate. There's a few planes here. Putin's seen them. So, you know, it's like... I think for us, we see things like that. We go, oh, wow, look at that. I don't suppose Putin looked at it twice. And certainly it's a bit of a nothing story, but it's something that the West would probably twist it out to be something. But no. That potato is definitely fake, made out of paper mache. My potato would grow if I put it in a dark cupboard. Yeah, I know. Thumbs up, please, Nelly. I've done that. Look, thumbs up. Among us Russians, we are laughing Trump and America off. Sorry, but it's like a bully kid trying to show off his muscles. None takes that seriously anymore. Yeah, that's right, Natalia. You know, Russians don't take that seriously anymore. It's just, you know, it's playground stuff, isn't it? Yeah, you know, it's like this the US military parade. Yeah, great, wonderful. I'm pleased for the US military and, you know, everybody that supports it. Yeah, wonderful, great, wonderful, fantastic. And then China has a go. Yeah. Back in your box then. There you go, Natalia. Yeah, a lot of inspiration for meme making. Yeah. Marcos, hi Chris, good morning. Having my coffee and listening to you, brother. Thank you, Marcos. I appreciate that. Coffee. I had a coffee this morning. I could do with another one. Natalia, geez, I've given up. Sorry, I'm doing several things at the same time. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to catch up. We don't see hardly anything from your country on the news, only the scripted propaganda. Yeah, exactly. It's all censored. It's not here. I can see Western news. But we live in a censored society, apparently, here in Russia. No, we don't. Fresh fruit and veg won't matter when World War III comes to a store near you. So I've done a video on World War III and why it won't happen. Have a look on it. Check it out on my channel. World War III won't happen. And I explain why it won't happen. I don't need to learn to grow turnips, mate. Plant anything in the ground here and it grows all by itself. Natalia, yeah, swimming with dolphins brings out the inner child in you. You feel absolute happiness and joy. Yeah, it's a remarkable experience. Control delete. The US will make the mistake of attacking Russia. Maybe. Will be a mistake. Russia has over 6,000 nukes and the US is under. Yeah, I mean, you know, once you're into those numbers, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Russia refuses to bend the knee. Yeah. If aliens showed up tomorrow and asked you to represent Earth, what's the first thing you'd show them? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Represent Earth. What's the first thing I'd show them? Well, based on my location, I suppose the first thing I show them is my swimming pool. There you go. Wouldn't say it's a representation of Earth, but it's a representation of my Earth. So, yeah, maybe take them to the beach, let them look at the dolphins. They can probably communicate with them. Honest question, Sarah. Are the locals pleasant? Yeah, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, very humbling. Thoughts on corrupt politicians in Russia? Hey, politicians corrupt the world over, aren't they? I don't know really too much about that because I don't involve myself in trying to understand it, because it's, you know, it's a bit like asking about grass in England or grass in America. It's freaking grass. All politicians are corrupt in one way, shape or form. The world over, you know, in my view. So they're all... for me, I find it quite refreshing finding somebody like Vladimir Putin, who you can tell genuinely cares about the people in the country. Genuinely does. You can tell that. If you've got a brain, you know that, and that's lovely. But as for politicians in general, they're all out to line their own pockets, aren't they? Britain cynically supports Israel. Yeah. Britain sends weapons to kill children. Britain supplies arms also. Yep. Laughing my arse off because of the West, you're dodging missiles. Well, I'm not, Sitius. I'm not dodging missiles, and certainly not because of the West. I'm probably one of the safest places on Earth. There's an awful lot of Russian military between me and the neighbours next door. I'm quite happy, thanks. The West has more blood in its hands than the Roman Empire. Yeah, true story. Let's get this flip round again. Here we go. Trying to catch up. I know Russia and Russians because I live in Finland. Do you now? I think you might have a jaded view, mightn't you, given Finland's history? Not good, is it? Their flag's on. Is it their Air Force? Or their Navy? It's got a nice image in the middle of its flag. Quite representative, I think. Country is that big zombie. It's across 2 continents. We do have perception of the place being dull and run, fine grey skies, low quality of life, but the sun does come out of Russia. Yeah. The royal families all sit round table making plans. Yeah. Keir Starmer is a Zionist cousin. You need to get off your phone and get your garden mowed and tidy. It's shit. Yeah. Oh, another cat. Google, Microsoft helping the genocide. Looks nice to me, street kid. Yeah, it's pretty good here. I'm quite happy. Got a swimming pool in your back garden, mate? Sauna, maybe? I'm worried that it seems you just need to have money to be a leader in the Western world. New Zealand as a businessman leader also. Yeah. Until money comes out of politics, you're never going to get any truth. It's as simple as that. Because when you incentivise something by making it financially profitable, then you're not going to get truth. You're just going to get whatever generates the revenue. And you look at US politics, you look at British politics, there's too much money in it. He said World War III won't happen living in a fairy tale world. It won't happen. Have a look at my video. I'll explain why in that. Natalia, yeah. Banksters, but only their people in power. Yeah. Yeah, the shadow people. New Zealand and Australia are outposts. Yeah. Look at Mertz, Macron and so on. All these bloody clowns come from the banks, BlackRock and so on. Yep. If Putin genuinely cares, why is he sending so many young men to their death? Sitius. What a dumb question. War kills people. That's what it is. You know, conflict kills people on both sides. But how many people is he saving? Russian politicians won't sell its own people like the US and Britain. True. New Zealand is a side, more so now. It's gone away from. Yeah. Alexander, how long you lived in Russia? A couple of years, 2-3 years, something like that. If the American empire collapsed today, Australia and New Zealand would collapse as they are heavily reliant on hedging. Not just Australia and New Zealand, mate. You need to finally prove that potato isn't fake. I'm not proving it. I'm not. I need to keep the illusion alive that this is a fake potato, because Russia hasn't got any potatoes, remember? It's latest story, isn't it? We ain't got any potatoes. How long have you been out there? The way it's been painted to us is all dull, grey and regimented. Yeah, been out here a few years and it's not all dull. 300 days a year of sunshine we have here. Hi, hello from Italy. Blimey. Whereabouts in Italy? I've been there a few times. Like Italy. Like the country. Sicily, I'll be honest, was the best place I went. People were amazing. So friendly. So friendly. A lot of them spoke really good English. A lot of them wore three-piece suits. Know what I'm saying? Keep it in the family and all that. But loved Sicily. People were wonderful. Really nice. Crazy bunch of drivers. Completely mental. There wasn't a straight car in Sicily. It wasn't an undamaged car. Everything was battered. It was parked by touch. Road signs. One Sicilian told me that the road signs were there solely to give people jobs, to make the road signs and put them in. Nobody took any notice of them. True. What's going on here? A bit of this, bit of that. Ciao, Natalia. Ciao, ciao. Oh, Natalia, you're showing off with a bit of Italian, aren't you? Di dove si nord central. Oh, yeah, central sud. Yeah. My Italian's gone out the window. I did know a bit. Mi piace l'Italia. Il sole, il mare, il vino. Yeah, it went long time ago. Oh, so you're telling me that World War III won't happen, even though nuclear weapons are stockpiled in their thousands. That's exactly why World War III won't happen. Go and watch my video. Leave the live stream. Go and watch the video and then come back. Tell me I'm wrong. USSR was a Zionist invention. Hello from Cambridge, blimey. Hello, Trial Bike. Do you go into the woods to pick mushrooms with your wife, by the way? Do you know what, Natalia? We haven't, not here. We did in the UK. It's not a thing in the UK. People don't go into the woods and pick mushrooms. It's very niche. A few people do it, but it's not a common thing. Most people aren't educated enough to know about the mushrooms. But my wife is, being Russian. You probably know the score. So we went mushroom picking. And she was picking mushrooms that I thought were toadstools. And I wouldn't have touched. And we ate them. So, yeah. But we haven't done it here. Perhaps we should. My wife is a nutter. What should I do? Run, Forrest. Yeah, now fishing. I'm subbing up, bro. Glad to see something come out of there that's not scripted. Thank you, mate. No scripted, just live streams. I do churn out videos if I see something worth videoing. I don't really like videos. I don't enjoy doing videos, to be honest. Find it a bit fake. I'd rather do a live stream and answer your questions. I have C2 level in Italian. Wow. I lived in Sicily for 10 years and I'll share your love for Sicily. Natalia, yeah. Well, the army base, was it the air base? I think it was the air base. There's a military base in the middle of Sicily. You come out of the port and you drive for about, oh dear, maybe 45 minutes up towards the hills, if you like. You can see the port of Sicily. And I was on that military base. Hello, buddy from Belfast, Gary. Mate, you got some problems, haven't you? I hope you guys. You know, the Irish, they're a fighting nation, as everybody knows, so good luck, boy. Good luck to you. Autumn Leddy, hello. Oh my, I had some mad mushroom one day and I thought I'd bit finger. Oh, did you? I think you should go into the woods there locally and spend a nice time there. Yeah, we're too busy. I'm too busy going to vineyards and finding bottles. Sarah, is there any foods that you can't get there that you miss from the UK other than potatoes? No, because when you first come here, stuff in the supermarkets, there's a lot of stuff that you don't see. You know, like if you're a lover of Marmite, which I am, you can't go into a supermarket and buy it. It's not on the shelf. And there are a few things like that, but you quickly learn that they're just different brands now. Not Marmite, but you can buy that online or get it delivered. So, but yeah, there's just different brands. There's stuff like brown sauce, HP brown sauce, but again, you get it delivered. But it's not readily available in the supermarket. But there's a lot of stuff in supermarkets here that you couldn't get in the UK. So yeah, there's nothing that I miss. You know, we have roast dinners, we have gravy, Marmite, bacon. Love bacon. Love a bit of bacon. Yeah, no, not really. What am I having for lunch today? Don't know, because I'm sort of heading towards doing a keto diet. Because I like the idea of that, being able to eat as much meat as I like. Sounds good. So what shall I have for lunch? I don't know. Might have some bacon. I will have some bacon. I definitely want bacon now I've said bacon. It's the law, isn't it? It was Sigonella. Okay. Sigonella, yeah. I don't know. It was a while back, but we were racing there. It was cool. Great story. So it's, you know, it's a military base. And we were inside it. But outside, there were mobile food trucks. You know, kebabs, burgers, chips, all of that kind of thing. So I went out one lunchtime to get something. And I went up to one of these trucks. There's a big Italian in an apron. And I'm looking at the menu trying to work out, and he rattled off some Italian and I couldn't understand. So I was trying to, you know, tell him what I wanted. And he was getting a bit frustrated, I think, and a bit rude with me, I guess. Just, what are you doing? You know, sort of hurry up. And from behind me, this, you know, late 20s, early 30s, beautifully manicured Sicilian in a three-piece suit in the middle of the day on a nice hot day like today, stepped from behind me and just annihilated this guy. Just destroyed him verbally. I mean, I've no idea what he said, but he just destroyed this guy. And then he turned to me and he said, "I'm very sorry. Please tell me what you would like," in perfect English. And I was like, okay. So I told him, and then he just went straight back at this guy, and this guy was, you know, just running around, couldn't serve me quick enough and gave me the food, and, you know, really apologetic and all of that. So, wonder where he came from. Yeah, educated in Oxford, I think he told me. But, yeah, it was kind of cool. And then we went down into the port, around one of the back streets, went to get a pizza, of all things. And this little shop, and we sat outside, and the guy came out, spoke perfect English, and couldn't be friendly, and, you know, couldn't have been more friendly. Just gave us lots of different food to try, all for free. No, try this, what do you like? And again, you know, talking to us about England. Yeah, lovely. Loved Sicily. Oh, Chris. Bye, Chris. Gone. Sigonella military base, yeah. Air base. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, because we were... Yeah, I think part of it was taxiways that we were racing on. So, yeah. Can you get a good fry up there, proper full English? No, I think the only place you can get a proper full English is England, isn't it? But you can build it and make it yourself. Nice sausages we get from the butchers are lovely. But yeah, sausages, bacon, hash browns. I haven't seen any in the shops, so we make our own. Lovely mushrooms, obviously. Beans you can get here, tomatoes, eggs, obviously. Oh no, not according to the West. We haven't got any eggs. No, we haven't got any eggs. 60 rubles for 10 eggs. It's about 55 pence for 10 eggs. It's right next to Catania. All those nasty spine drones fly from Sigonella. Ah, okay. Interesting. Well, it's an easy target, to be honest. Heather says hi from Sheffield. Does she now? Nov. I'm half Irish, half Maori. Wow! Half me wants to drink, the other half don't want to pay for well, I suggest tinned herring. You can suggest it. I'll pass, though. Is that an Aussie accent? No, it's UK. Bill, good afternoon. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, all going well here. Yeah, usual, you know. Lovely weather, blah, blah. You know the score. Have you ever had fish and chips? Yeah, a few times. Baratiki, that three-piece suited man was a real boss. Indeed he was. He was definitely a family member. Are you originally Russian? No, born and bred in the UK. Eggs about $1 each. Fuck off. $1 each? No, come on. Really? No. About 55 pence for 10 here, so about 5p each. Bill, all is well here. Good. Hot, probably. I'm guessing. It's about 29 degrees here. It's a bit breezy today. Temperature's changing now. So that time of year where it's going to start cooling off. But that said, I was in the pool last night at 10:30. So, what's this? Messages turning up. Right, I've caught up with the chat. So, let's go for one more wander. I'll give you 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to check out because I'm sure you don't want to keep listening to me waffling on. Let's turn you around. Seriously, yeah, seriously. Deadly serious. 60 rubles for 10 eggs. Where are you now? Southern Russia. Just outside the seaside resort town of Anapa. A-N-A-P-A in your Google Maps. And you'll see where we are. Coast of the Black Sea. About 50 miles from Crimea. Let's go up on the... I'm going to go up on a terrace, show you a bit of a view. It's a bit windy though, so it won't be up there long. But... oh dear, it's windy. Oh. He lies. Now, bedroom in there. Anyhow. As you can see, we've got rolling hills. All the way in the distance. It's windy up here as I thought it was going to be. Anyhow, here we go. Get a couple of chickens for fish. Yeah, I think that's the way people will go in England. I mean, nobody grows anything. Allotments are slowly being phased out, aren't they, in the UK? When I was a kid, everybody had allotments, or family, somebody had an allotment growing stuff. But no, they want to kill that off, don't they? They don't want people growing stuff. Because if you're growing it, you're not putting money into the economy and buying it. And equally, you're not buying crap. You're buying fresh, natural stuff. And that won't send you back to the doctors, so they don't want you doing that. Yeah, right. About £2.36 for 6 eggs yesterday here in Kent. Youch. Ouch. No joke. $1 an egg. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Hang on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the wife. I know what the price is, but you know, some of you might think I'm lying. Wife, how much do we pay for eggs? Yeah, eggs.
Now it's go down. Maybe 80 rubles.
The ones we bought yesterday was 60.
60?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
No better.
because they're the cheapest ones are on the bottom, and then they go up in price. Oh, you weren't with us yesterday, was it? Me and Amelia at the bottom. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there you go. But she said 80. So the wife said 80. You can actually pay 80 rubles for 10 eggs, but they're different grade. But yeah, 60 rubles, 10 eggs. Holy moly, you can get 10 for 2 New Zealand dollars here. Howdy chat. Hey Jerry. Must say, truly beautiful spot you have. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world. You know, like I say, our life involves going down to the beach, going to different vineyards, going out for day trips, going exploring, going to Krasnodar Park. That is something you want to see. Guys, if you haven't, please check out my YouTube channel. Check out the videos on there from Krasnodar Park. The latest video is about 29 minutes from the Japanese garden inside the park. So it's 7 hectares of garden inside the park. So a park within a park, effectively. It's otherworldly. You just go and watch it. You know, regardless of what you think, you know, your political stance or anything at all, but you just want a bit of entertainment. I don't know, but just go and watch that video. Go and have a look at that. The Japanese garden. Title of the video, I think, is something like, why are there no homeless camps in Russian parks? It's a weird title, but I changed the title because it wasn't getting much traffic, so I just copied a viral title video on YouTube and thought, well, I'll just use the same title. So I've done that. So yeah, you know, ignore the title, but check out the video. Will blow your mind. It's amazing. Consider purchasing some chickens if eggs are that expensive. You'll be printing your own mint. Yeah, that's the way it will go. I think people will start growing their own stuff in the gardens. But the trouble is, English soil's not that great. You've got to spend a lot of time looking after it. They just banned battery hens here. Contributed to the cost, but better off having your own chooks at home. Yeah, just noisy and smelly, aren't they? Sarah, I've set up a whole allotment in the back garden. Perfect, genius. You know, most Russians grow their own fruit and veg. We're a bit of an exception, really. We've got all this ground and we don't really grow anything. But, you know, that may change. Who knows? Can't imagine living in the UK right now, looking much worse than the US currently. Yeah, I guess. Eggs come in different categories, different prices for each category. There you go, Natalia, thank you. Living in the UK is very difficult at the moment. The rich getting richer as per. Yeah, of course. In St. Petersburg, you can buy 10 eggs for 25 cents. There you go. So, of course, it varies from region to region, but yeah, I mean, I thought 60 rubles for 10 eggs. Didn't think it was too bad. Are you as Tommy Robinson fan? I'm neither. I don't know the guy. I don't know enough about him other than what I see. I see him on media. I see him portrayed as a racist from day one, which is standard media. If they want to destroy somebody, they're a racist or they're a sex trafficker. It's the standard playbook, isn't it? So I don't take any notice of that. Yeah, I don't know enough about the guy. I'm very sceptical about this raise the flag malarkey. I think there's more to it than it seems. Because ultimately, if you want to form an army, the first thing you do is produce a flag and get people to rally behind it. It's your symbol. You've seen the pictures of, soldiers, holding the flag up and flying the colours and all this kind of stuff. And at the moment, you've got politicians in the UK talking about going to war, and the reality is the British military couldn't do that. They're just not capable of doing that. So either the politicians change their tune, or they try and convert people into being patriotic and fighting for the country. So that's my fear, that there's more to this raise the flag than meets the eye. I don't think it's just about fighting immigration. I think it's about forming people together to form them into an army. That's a dangerous thing. There's nothing wrong with a country having its own army and being able to defend itself, but it's everything wrong with politicians creating a narrative and getting people to go and leave the country and fight another country. There's everything wrong with that. Gasoline is pushing $3 a litre. Jesus Christ, yeah. That's 65 rubles a litre here. I haven't been to that part of the world yet. Have you been to Uzbekistan? It was a different kind of beautiful, but beautiful nonetheless. No, Jerry, I haven't, I'm afraid. Sarah, in my hometown, I'm currently helping veterans homeless when I can that are living in shop doorways. Breaks my heart. Yeah, it's wrong, isn't it? It's absolutely wrong. Like, subscribed and shared. Smile, you are a legend. Thank you so much for that. Sarah Hawthorne, the UK is a mess today. I went to Hastings in 1996. Being a 14-year-old teenager, I was positively impressed. What I see now on various YouTube channels is literally a horror show. Oh, well, Hastings is my neck of the woods, Natalia. That's where I came from, Eastbourne, which is just 14 miles along the coast. I know Hastings very well. Yeah, I mean, I went there as a kid. It used to be a great place to go, but it's full of homeless, it's full of, yeah, drunks, crime, etc., etc. Yeah, they've done a bit of remodelling. They built a new shopping centre in the middle of Hastings. It's quite nice, but yeah, not great. Jerry Young, no worries to jail. Not for me. No, I live in a free society, so unless you break the law, no intention of breaking the law. So, Nelly, Chris, do you think that there will be a war between Russia and the Western world? Good question. If the West insists on having one, then Russia will defend itself. It's that simple, really. Russia's not going to go, you know, attacking Europe like the narrative says. Russia's no intention of that. Russia's not interested in the Baltic states. Why would you want to take over a neighbouring country that's full of people that hate you and that's full of, you know, just horrible people? Why would you want to do that? What use of the Baltic states to Russia? Russia has all the resources it wants for the rest of its millennia, so it serves no purpose. It's just Western media narrative, isn't it? So no, but Russia will defend itself. Its military is based from a defensive position. That's what it's built on. So it will defend itself. There is no doubt. I agree, it's awful. Truly is. Yeah. Let me have that nice memory of Hastings. Don't ruin my good memories of it. I'm sorry, Natalia. Yeah. It's all right. I mean, Hastings has some good days. They have like Pirates Day, which is really cool. Everybody dresses up as a pirate, which is really funny. You go down there and there's hundreds of Jack Sparrows running around. It's really funny. I'm against illegal immigrants, but not against the folk of the UK, whatever colour. Yeah, there you go. Smile, Russia can't be beat. History says so. Jerry Young, 3.78 litres for 269 USD. So that's an American gallon, isn't it? 3.78, I think. Is it? I don't know. My conversion's gone. For $2.69. Yeah. I can't remember how many litres are in an English gallon now. Don't know. 4.55, is it? 4.5 litres to a gallon, something like that. So here would be 240, 250 rubles for a gallon, which is about £2. So yeah, maybe similar cost, maybe. I think it's a little bit cheaper here, but America's always been cheap on fuel, isn't it? Sarah, great day, great vibe, Pirate Day. I have family there. I haven't been in many years. Yeah, it is. Everybody walking around dressed as Jack Sparrow, the whole kit, the full lot. parrots, everything is brilliant. It always makes me laugh because the wife, being Russian, struggles between parrots and pirates. As an English person, it sounds completely different. To a Russian, it sounds exactly the same. So she calls pirates parrots, and she calls parrots pirates. It's quite funny. Anyhow, guys, thank you. Called up with a chat, which is always my goal. Really appreciate you tuning in for me ramblings and me waffle. Don't live in fear. Listen to mainstream media. Do your own research. Use your own eyes and form your own opinions. The most important thing. Do not regurgitate other people's opinions. Form your own ones based on the basis of knowledge. Get some information. Make your opinion on that. But thanks for watching. Have a look at my channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share it if you can. Please hit the like button if you can. It's just one click. It does help. Really does help. It's not about revenue. Not care about generating revenue. It's not for that, I promise you. I post my revenue earnings every month in my Telegram channel. So if you want to ask me questions, join my Telegram group. You can ask me anything you want. And like I say, I post my earnings there every month. So I'm very transparent. This is not about money for me. This is about giving you guys information, answering your questions, letting you make your own mind up. Right, very quickly. I live in Texas. If fuel goes up too high, we will flip out. Yeah, absolutely. You lot got guns. I grew up thinking we'd live Red Dawn, love Red Dawn, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Bill. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Disappointed with Russian military. I ain't. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. I no longer feel that they'd make a worthy opponent for the US. Jerry, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. I promise you, you are so wrong. I'm 50 miles from Crimea, mate. I promise you, you were wrong. Trust me on that. I can't work out Telegram. Thanks, Chef. Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to, but yeah. Right, cheers, guys. And as always say, see you in the next one.